Hey everybody, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's Friday.
Yeah, looks like everything's good.
I'm having another blue day today. All the lights are on for a change.
That's my favorite hair, actually.
This is also my favorite hair. I should probably get, this is actually the second one of these wigs, because the first one I wore it so much that it's all like janky looking now. Yeah. So I had to get a second one, and this one's kind of getting a little bit janky looking. They only cost like $17, $18, so they don't last a super long time.
You just, wear them out.
Especially if you wear them out and they get kind of sweaty or something like that. Like they start getting knots in them, and you can't get them out like you can get knots out of real hair.
Yeah.
So you just have to get another one because they're not made of real hair; they're synthetic.
Yep. And today is Friday, so we're gonna usher you into the weekend.
Hell yeah! My favorite.
We're not going out tonight. We're gonna go out maybe tomorrow.
Yeah. Probably. I like Saturday nights better anyway. Like I said, I got more time to get ready and it's a more chill crowd, and I don't have to worry about people molesting me.
Yeah. And
you can molest me. It's just I don't like strangers molesting me. I think most people don't.
1 out of 4 times I go there, I got a fight.
It might be more often than that actually. Seems like every 50% of the time. You know. Mannequins. We haven't been there in a long time actually.
Yeah. I'm drinking Canada Dry ginger ale and rum. It's pretty good.
I've got rum, and sweet. I know you're gonna be appalled, but I put the rest of the Dr. Pepper in there.
No, actually, Dr. Pepper rum's pretty good.
Yeah, because I just saw that there was a little bit of Dr. Pepper left, and I said, well, I might as well drink that before it goes flat.
Yeah, I was gonna drink it if you weren't.
Yeah, and I like Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
It honestly kind of covers up the taste of the rum. It just basically tastes like Dr. Pepper, and I put 2 shots of rum in there.
Yeah, it goes pretty well.
Yeah. Phantom is saying, there's been 2 true crime updates for Robert Willie Picton, the pig farmer guy that we did a show about a long time ago. Picton got killed in prison by another inmate.
Probably deserved it.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, even if he didn't do anything in prison, he still deserved it just because for the shit that he did beforehand.
Dude, I wouldn't take a shower.
Oh, I wonder why. I wonder what it was. Now I have to look it up.
He's a fucking filthy motherfucker.
Yeah, and also Herb Baumeister. Yeah. He said the property was reported to have 10,000 human remains found at his former home. Was it pieces of it? It couldn't be 10,000 people. No serial killers that prolific, are they? Unless
10,000 pieces of evidence probably is what they're talking about.
Okay. I thought that I saw.
What they're talking about is bone fragments. He was probably busting up people's bones.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I knew there was more shit out there.
Yeah.
But
it's supposed to be haunted as fuck too.
Yeah, because remember we talked about that, I think, on the show. Like, we talked about the haunting as well. Because I think that was the first time that I heard about that motherfucker. Yeah. It wasn't even on a true crime show. It was on one of the ghost shows.
Yeah. Had a gay dude move into the servants' quarters. Or the caretaker's house.
Yeah.
To that. And fucking, he woke up in the middle of the night, somebody's beating down his door, and he opened it up, and there's a terrified dude there. Asking for help, and then the dude just vanished. It was a ghost.
I would shit a brick if that happened. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I wonder if that really happened like that.
That's what he said. That's how I remember the story.
It was something like that, because I kind of remember it,
down the door, and he opened it up and saw something.
Yeah.
I don't remember if he saw somebody through the hall. So, help me. And the guy opened the door, and there was nobody there. Or he opened it up, and then the guy vanished. I don't remember.
That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
I thought that I read that there was also an update in the Rex Heuermann Lisk case. I thought they charged him with 2 more murders, but I'd have to look up. Because I thought I just saw a headline real quick while I was scrolling through some shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we should do. Maybe when we do a movie review, the movie review on Monday, or maybe we could do before whatever wins in the poll this weekend, for the main show on Wednesday, we could do a little update at the beginning of all the true crime update shit.
Herb Baumeister's his place is fucking infested, man. Infested with gay ghosts, bathhouse ghosts, like from Zach. Where you at, Zach?
I haven't seen him yet.
Yeah. He got his gonorrhea fucking treatment and he vanished. He's in there.
It wasn't gonorrhea. It was chlamydia.
Chlamydia. Motherfucker got the clap.
And he said...
Motherfucker got the clap to get back to the bathhouse.
And he said... He didn't get it at the bathhouse. He got it from the guy on Grindr.
Oh, okay, yeah. Grindr.
Because remember how we were saying that it was ironic? I think it was from Grindr. Or
Grindr is the fucking virtual bathhouse.
Yeah.
That's the bathhouse in cyberspace. Yeah.
Still, you'd think it would be more likely that you would get something from a bathhouse, which is more like a public environment. But that's not always the way shit works. He said he was clean, though. He had taken the cootie pills. He said on Wednesday when we did the show last. Hey, we're not like just say he said it in the chat.
Yeah, he said it.
And honestly, like if you don't want
he
anybody,
was bragging about it. He was fucking boasting.
That's what I mean. So it's not like we're sharing anybody's secrets or anything that they didn't say shit about first. You know what I mean?
He's got his bathhouse street cred now.
Yeah. And Lord knows we say all kind of personal, embarrassing shit about ourselves all the time. So
that's part of the show, man.
Pretty much. Like I said, I don't think I can think of a single thing that I probably haven't said on here at some point or another.
Yeah, this is how we are.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't think I have any secrets left to be revealed. To be honest, not that I can think of anyway, unless they're really boring.
Yeah. None that would make good material.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Xanada said, that's why I'm a private person, LOL. Yeah, some people are, but I don't know. I just have never really been like that.
Plus, when we're doing a show, we have to have things to talk about, so and we're not really sensitive. Me and Jen aren't that sensitive.
Not really.
We've gotten drunk and fought on the show.
Yeah, I remember that happening a few times.
Yeah.
Or sometimes we've said shit on the show and I thought everything was fine, and then he got mad at me after the show and I was like, why are you mad, bro?
Yeah, we were drinking.
Because I said something that he took the wrong way or something.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, well, I probably don't remember it either, to be honest with you. But yeah, so like I said, we don't hide nothing from you guys.
Yeah, the show would be boring if we did.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, I don't care. Neither of us have any shame, so you know. CB says hello to my two favorite goths. Well, hello.
Who said that?
CB.
Okay.
Dr. Pepper and rum, you bad girl. Well, yeah, I mean,
that's good.
Rum doesn't go with everything the way vodka does, but actually that's pretty good. Like I said, I just put Dr. Pepper in it because we had a little bit left.
I checked that shit on Google. They said it goes together well. Dr. Pepper and rum. Yeah.
I think it's good.
It is good.
Like I said, it tastes mostly just like Dr. Pepper. Yeah. You can't really taste any rum. Unless I didn't mix it good enough and all the rum's in the bottom.
Made some Thai curry today.
Oh my god, that shit is so delicious.
Good, yeah. The carrots I grew out in the garden.
Did you end up making it in the Instant Pot or no?
No, I made it in the big ass fucking 20-gallon pot.
Because last night he was like, I wonder should I make it in the Instant Pot? This is the kind of shit we talk about.
It.
When we're just like laying around.
You might want to like just pressure cook the meat for a minute and then fucking come back and then just put the vegetables and let it simmer the rest of the way. But you could do the rice probably at the same time. But I have to have that basket. Hold the rice on the top of them. Pressure cook the rice.
But man, it's good. Like all the veggies in it were grown out back.
Not all of them.
Most of them.
Most of them. The peppers were.
I got one super hot pepper.
Yeah.
But all the rest of them were not hot. But I got one super hot one.
Yeah, I had a couple poblano peppers in there. Grew some of those.
And there was carrots in there too, right?
Yeah. Carrots, yeah. They were little bitty baby carrots.
Yeah, little baby carrots.
The carrots they're not growing like big, you know. I don't know why.
They're little inadequate carrots.
Inadequate carrots. Like little baby carrots. They taste good though.
Micro carrots, if you will.
Had potatoes in it.
Yeah.
Red potatoes. Red ones and white ones.
Xanada said, I don't want all my shit out there for people to know. Tom knows enough about me. It's like and you can't be a streamer and expect privacy. It's the same as being a public figure, basically.
Yep.
Yeah, and like I said, to be honest, in some ways, it's kind of better to just let everything hang out there because then there's nothing that anybody can use against you.
Yeah.
Like for nefarious purposes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, back in the old days, people were like, I'm going to blackmail you and I'm going to send naked pictures. I'm like, so?
Doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work for us. It doesn't work. Nothing would work.
Nothing no one will care.
Nothing would work.
I guarantee it.
We've been out at the club before and had somebody come up and says, I like the show, man. You guys, you know, fucking, and dude knew all about us, so we didn't even know the guy. It was just kind of funny. Remember that? It was about a year ago.
It is pretty weird, like,
funny.
sometimes.
Like, yeah, you listen to the show. Yeah.
Because most of our friends don't listen to it, or just listen to it every now and then.
Yeah.
You know, obviously nobody is that, they're not interested enough in us to like listen to it all the time.
If they're your friends, they know you already. So
yeah, it's like they know us already, so it's just kind of like they're like, yeah, we don't need to listen to you guys yapping for hours and hours. But
yeah, they see that in person.
Yeah. Right. So But every now and then you get somebody that's like a local that shows up and like recognizes us.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird.
It's funny, yeah. It's weird.
It is pretty weird, yeah.
And they know you.
Yeah.
But you don't know them at all. But
like I said, that one
dude was real respectful about it, though.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
hang
he
out
was
or
cool.
anything. He was just like, yeah.
Yeah, he was just he wasn't like, oh my God, love me or anything like that. I wasn't like.
Plus, he was our age, so he kind of knew what it's like from our point of view. That we didn't know him. He knew all about us, but we didn't know him.
Which is funny too, because I think like a lot of people that watch it, because I don't usually watch our old shows.
Yeah.
Unless there's some reason I need to, like to update something. But so a lot of times people will be like, "Oh, the episode where you said this and that." I'm just like,
"We don't remember that."
Yeah. I don't remember that. Like, well, we've done so many shows that I'm sure it happens a lot.
Yeah. But what's funny is that you can be a regular listener, and fucking been listening to us for years. You even had somebody who basically kind of grew up listening to us,
which is crazy.
Fucking doing this shit for almost 9 years now.
Yeah, 2016
so some of your kids were just listening, and
that's hilarious.
But, you feel that you know us, but we don't know you. It's funny. You know us, but we don't know you.
Yeah.
Which might be kind of strange. Because I think a lot of people assume that we know you.
Yeah.
But we don't know you.
I mean, I feel like we know you guys because you guys are here all the time.
Our regulars who interact with us,
we
know you a little bit. But we have never met you.
Yeah.
Haven't hung out with you. Only a few. Soph, hung out with her.
Yeah, she's actually stayed at our house a couple times.
Yeah, she stayed over a couple times. Who else? There was a listener that we know and met.
We've had a couple that said they were going to come down and visit, but then they never did.
They never did, yeah.
Or it didn't work out with the timing or whatever.
Yeah. Although they said they'd probably be back in about a month or so.
Okay, yeah, that's right, because you were just talking to them the other day.
Yeah.
The Phantom says, the episode when Tom was drinking at Oasis and drank a dollar store energy drink to sober up was a good episode.
I don't remember that one.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that one.
That sounds like some shit you would do. Yeah. Oh, I think I vaguely remember, like, you were at the Oasis and, like, you didn't come home until, like, almost time for the show. Yeah. I think I was maybe kind of pissed off at you.
Yeah,
maybe.
Probably fucking loaded.
Probably, yeah. You and that lady at the bar was buying you drinks, maybe.
Yeah.
That's a new thing that I found out the other day.
Yeah.
That there's I don't know what she looks like. I've never seen her, but there's a woman at Oasis, this redheaded woman.
Yeah.
And she's apparently every time she's in there, she's always trying to buy him drinks.
Yeah.
And
Amy doesn't allow it.
Amy, the bartender, will not allow her to buy him drinks.
Yeah. She's you're not buying him any drinks. She says, why didn't you buy him a drink? She says, he's married.
Amy's running interference for me. Married. That's what she's doing. I didn't even know about that. Tom told me the other couple days ago.
Yeah, she told me that she'd leave, and I didn't really realize that she left. That she left.
That she left.
That she left. But the last time I was there, she went, that bitch tried to buy you another drink again, and I was like, what? that redhead, she tried to buy you another drink. And I said, let her buy me a drink. I'll get some free drinks. She says, oh, no.
Tom's like, I'm not proud.
Let her buy me a drink. I don't give a shit. I'll just drink this shit up. She goes, you'd be in serious danger. Yeah, I was like, nah, I can handle that. Handle her. She goes, you'd never get rid of her.
Yeah, you might not.
Probably right, yeah.
She might start stalking you or something.
Yeah.
You've had that problem before. Stalker bitches.
Yeah, calling. Mad at
her. Wanted to show up at your house.
Yeah, I'm coming to your fucking house. I said, no, you're not.
She said that.
Jen overheard it on the phone.
Yeah, because we were all in the fucking car. We were in the McDonald's drive-thru or some shit. Like on the way home. Kaylee was in the car too. R.I.P.
Yeah.
But
how dare you with her instead of me? Remember that shit?
I'm coming to your house right now.
I'm coming to your house, motherfucker.
I was like, yeah, I want to punch in your fucking lights out.
Me and Jen were hanging out. We weren't really like an official item, but I didn't want to hang out with her anymore. I want to hang out with Jen. She was fucking assaulted. She said, I'm coming over to your fucking house. I said, no, you're not. So she's like, I'm going to be in the bushes. Remember that?
I think I said that.
Did you say that?
I said, if we get there and she's hiding in the bushes, can I beat her ass?
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah.
She's back.
Yeah, you told me.
She's back.
You told me.
She's back. She's in town. But she hasn't been out to any clubs, so...
Yeah, because I keep, like, having flashbacks like I'm going to fucking see her or some shit.
She's been back for over a year.
Wonder why she hasn't come out.
Something must be wrong. Maybe she looks different now.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe maybe she's embarrassed by the way she looks or something.
Yeah. Probably that's what I'm thinking. Maybe she put on a lot of weight.
Yeah, I was like, that's what I know. I know it's mean, but that was the first place my brain went. It's like maybe she got fat.
Yeah, because she was skinny.
She's real skinny.
Skinny. She was a good-looking woman.
And like I said, I can't stand the bitch, but I would never say that she was ugly or anything like that because she's not. That's a lie.
Yeah.
She's actually beautiful, but
kind of fashionable and shit. She was insulted when I fucking wanted to hang out with gents that her.
Yeah, well.
She got real insulted.
I don't know why everybody's like so like down on me, man. What's wrong with me?
They almost beat each other up on a dance floor. That was fucking awesome. They were on stage fighting over me. It was fucking funny. This shit was fucking hilarious.
We weren't so much fighting over you.
Well,
it was
you
just,
guys were pissing and moaning on each other. And
it was just kind of fighting. She started it.
She started it, yeah.
I was just standing there minding my own business. I didn't do nothing. I would never start shit. No. I don't start shit unless I'm real drunk.
Yeah.
I don't start shit like that. But somebody starts something with me, and I'm gonna finish that shit.
You tossed her ass around though.
I did. Well, she shouldn't have done that.
Now that you fucking worked out and on gear, you'd fucking run through her, man, fucking like a freight train. You'd run the wheels off that girl.
Yeah, I'd knock her head off.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get in trouble, but I mean, I was pretty pissed.
Security had your back. They knew who she was.
I was pretty pissed. And like I said, she went and complained to Lee, the bartender.
And he just went, get out of here.
And he's like, man, fuck you. Yeah. He didn't like her either.
He didn't like her.
Nobody did. So, because she was obnoxious.
No, some people liked her.
Yeah, I think a few people did. But I don't think anybody that worked there was a big fan of hers.
She was very high and mighty.
Yeah, she was real obnoxious.
Thought she was better than everybody else.
Yeah. So a lot of people didn't like her. So I thought that was funny that she complained to him specifically. It was like, wait, who beat you up? And she was like, that Jenny girl, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, piss off.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah,
it's like she probably had a reason. I did have a reason. That was
a long time ago now.
It was a long time ago, yeah. It was funny, though.
She's back.
Yeah, 'cause she's back.
That dude sent her home.
So, did they get divorced?
I don't think they got married,
Divorced? Or they broke up, I mean?
Yeah, I think he just sent her back home.
Well, to his credit, he put up with her for a long time. Way longer than most people probably would have.
Yeah.
You know? So, because she lived in Germany for a while.
Yeah.
But I was just kind of, like, man, I wonder how long he's going to, like, put up with that. But...
a couple years.
Longer than I thought he would.
Yeah.
To be fair, but still he was just
I don't know all the details.
No, I don't either. I'm just speculating.
Right. But she was a fucking fixture in the scene for a long time.
She was always there. Like, mostly on Saturday nights, I feel like.
She liked new wave type stuff.
More than the goth nights. She would come on the goth nights, too, sometimes, but she was mostly there on the new wave nights.
And she was a normie.
Yeah, she wasn't real...
No, she wasn't... she was a normie.
Yeah, she didn't know a lot about... And, she looked kind of gothy, but she didn't know much about...
Yeah. Cause she was kind of like post-punk, kind of.
Not even that cool.
Kind of cold wave, like something like a member of fucking Ladytron, like that.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Oracle says $30 on Jenny winning fights. I mean, depends on who it is.
Don't fuck with Jenny, man. She'll fucking throw down. She has to.
Like I said, especially if I'm drunk, I'm gonna get real mad at you.
I couldn't get involved, you know. I just kind of made sure that. Well, I saw her. She won instantly, so there was nothing I could do.
Well, I mean, she didn't even try to fight back.
Yeah. Just.
I think she was just shocked that I did something.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I'm a patient person. Not really, but I try to be cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially, I don't want to get kicked out. I don't want to get trouble. I don't really like conflict. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, so I try to kind of, but she's been doing this little passive aggressive shit for just like years, really.
Yeah.
Like saying out of the pocket shit, like doing kind of, oh, sorry, like that kind of shit. And it's just kind of like, after a while, it just builds up, and you're just like, you know what? I'm just going to punch this motherfucker.
No, fucking Sandra says she looked goth with a pose. No, she didn't look goth.
I mean, she looked more like...
Look at Ladytron.
What am I trying... She kind of looked like... You know when... It wasn't in the 90s when Vogue had like... They're like, oh, goth is in now? Like like that kind of shit, but also kind of like Audrey Hepburn, but gothy.
I'm going to show you what she looked like.
She was like a gothy looking Audrey Hepburn, sort of. Like she always had like these kind of fitted, like sort of vintagey looking black dresses and black tights, and she had like the short, like asymmetrical hair.
She looked just like that chick from that New Order video, that the updated New Order video. What was
the one for Temptation?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, she looks kind of like that. She looked kind of like that. So more like, I don't want to say hipster because that's not quite right, but I don't know. Like I said, she gave me like an Audrey Hepburn-y kind of vibe.
Let me show you.
But I don't think she really.
She had that look.
That's not her. That's from. That's that New Order video.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that's not her. But she said she had that look.
Yeah, it was kind of that vibe.
Yeah.
Like she had that haircut.
Yeah, and
those
kind of
clothes.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of like a retro.
Yeah, she looked like
she looked a lot like that style.
Yeah.
Yeah, was what she looked like. She had pretty much that exact same haircut.
Yep. That same haircut, that same kind of look, that same build.
Yeah.
And that style.
Real skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was one of those.
Yeah, she looked like that. But yeah, the Lloyd Christmas looking hairstyle. It's not quite that bad. It's not like a bowl. It's just kind of like she looked like a member of the Cranberries. Yeah, a bit.
Yeah.
It was that kind of thing. So it's like, so she wasn't. She looked like goth adjacent.
She could come into a club.
Yeah, and like no one would say anything. Yeah. And she knew a lot of like 80s music, like new wave and stuff, and some post punk. But I wouldn't call her a goth or anything. You know, other people might if they didn't know the distinction, but yeah, she was obnoxious as shit. Obnoxious as shit.
She didn't have to be. She was just trying to fucking stand out somehow. And fucking.
She was just. You know what pissed me off the most about her was that she was like super, super try hard.
That's when I got in trouble with. She fucking whisked me out of the club and left Jen there, and I didn't realize I had her fucking clothes at my apartment. I went over to her place.
Yeah, we weren't a thing at this point.
We weren't a thing at that place at the time, yeah.
But we had gone to the club together, so I kind of got stuck, and I had to get...
Yeah, she had to go spend a night with her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
Jen did.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, I was drunk, and I thought she left with her ex-boyfriend. I figured you weren't coming back.
And remember, because I told you, I said, I'm just going across the street. There's another bar across the street, like an Irish bar. Yeah. And he liked that. And he's like, just come have one drink with me. And I was like, yeah, okay. So I told Tom, I'm like, I'm just going across the street for like 10 minutes to have a drink with Mike. Yeah. And then I'm coming back.
And then she left, and fucking that chick saw Jen leave.
Yeah, she was watching all the time.
Yeah, she saw it, and she goes, Jen left, come on to my place. And I was like, what? She left you, come to my place. She grabbed me and took me out, and her car was parked on the side of the road running.
Stalker, man. I'm telling you, she's a fucking stalker.
Yeah, and that was on Orange Ave.
Yeah.
So she went and got her car, drove it to the front of the club, parked it, got out of it.
Yeah.
Went back into the club and got me, pulled me out.
She wanted that D so bad.
Yeah.
She never got it.
And she goes, I'll bring you back. I'll bring you back in a couple hours. And I was like, all right.
Whatever.
Okay. I had been plied with alcohol.
You had been plied with that. Well, you plied yourself with alcohol.
I plied myself with alcohol,
No one plied you with alcohol. She didn't drug you. Well, not that we know of.
And I ended up
although that would be a distinct possibility. She would do that shit.
And I ended up over at her place, man, and I was being attacked by an octopus.
Oh my god. It's just fucking...
I should have known.
I tried to tell you, but you didn't listen. Because you were just like, ooh, girl pretty. That was pretty much all you cared about. You know?
I was open to possibilities.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. I was open.
It's a different time.
It was a different time. Like I said. I remember one time when we came in iBar, and this was like right when we kind of first decided we were kind of going out type of thing. And we walked in, and I think we were holding hands, and she was standing in line for the bathroom, and the bathroom is like right there by like the entrance, and she looked fucking daggers at me.
Yeah.
When she saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that look. I was just like... I was like,
I don't know how this shit happens, man.
It's like so fucking funny. It was so fucking funny.
That was old.
I mean, it wasn't funny at the time because she was like getting on my last fucking nerve. But
I was amused, of course.
It's funny. Well, yeah.
I was amused.
Well, you weren't really well, I was gonna say you weren't the target of it. I mean, you kind of were, but
she was no threat to you. I wouldn't let anything happen.
Right. You know? But you know what I mean. It's just kind of like. And remember that one night, like her and her sister were there. And they were adopted, right?
Yeah.
And her sister was just like her, though.
But
I think that they were not related, like not blood related.
No.
And I was like,
together, but they weren't related.
And I was like, holy crap, they're exactly the same.
They're finishing each other's sentences and stuff, and they were just Remember that?
She's one of the and she's one of those people that would come up and be like, "You're dancing with me, come on!" Like she's like super obnoxious.
Yeah.
And super try hard.
Yeah.
Super try hard.
We were like, look, we're talking together. We don't really want. No. They got really mad when you didn't want to interact with them.
Why don't you want to talk to me? Why don't you want to be friends? I'm just like, because I don't. Like, why do I need a reason? Piss off.
Yeah. It was weird.
I hate that.
Yeah.
We used to get that a lot too. Like sometimes we'd be in the front bar.
Yeah.
You know, before the night really got going, and we'd be having drinks, talking to each other, talking to some of our other friends or something, and then some fucking normie or something like that would come in, and they decide that they have to talk to you.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Hey, what's you guys' deal? Blah. Yeah. I'm like, fuck off. Like, what?
We're kind of busy right now.
Yeah, it's like, we're kind of. Well, this is how you make friends. Don't you want any friends? I'm like,
guy, So we got all kinds of friends.
And I'm just like, I've got enough friends.
Yeah.
We don't really know you. Need to be hanging around you right now. Like, get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, we're kind of talking. We don't really know you.
I hate that. It's like, it makes me mad because the entitlement. Like, they feel like they're doing you a favor.
Yeah.
Here's me. I'm awesome. Here I am. I'm deigning to speak to you. Yeah. And I'm just like, can you just, like, go die, please?
We don't know you. You've never been here before.
Right. Like, I don't know who the fuck you are.
Because we knew everybody.
Yeah, I was like, nobody knows who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
No one cares who the fuck you are. Yeah. Please go away.
You're right. Yeah. You had to and that club's gone now. It's moved to the one that we go to tomorrow.
Yeah. Moved to like a warehouse.
Moved to a warehouse. It used to be downtown.
Like right at the biggest intersection.
Main Strip.
Yeah.
Yeah, Main Strip in Orlando. And this is, back it didn't survive COVID. The COVID thing shut down downtown. All the good clubs pulled out. Rents fucking plummeted. They got desperate. They let in the fucking R&B and rap clubs. And then that drove all the fucking business out of there. Because then there was shootings and shit. They started shooting each other. I don't know if it's still like that.
Yeah,
we haven't real dangerous.
We haven't been down there in a while.
We haven't been down there in a long time.
Because there's not really any reason to go down there anymore. Because the club's not there anymore.
None of the clubs that we go to are there anymore. The last I heard, they were just shooting people up every fucking weekend down there.
Even though the police station is literally right there. The
police station's right there. Yeah.
But I guess they're not doing anything.
I don't remember fucking where I was getting at with all this.
Well, you were saying that the club used to be like right on Orange Avenue, like right in the middle of like the big.
Yeah, and the thing is that.
And that we knew everybody.
We knew everybody, and to get to know everybody, you had to spend years in there, as a regular. And everybody knew everybody who were regulars. You could tell who would just wandered in, and you could tell the new people from the old people, or visitors from people who are regulars. Like we still run into fucking regulars from back in the day, like Lee Paranis.
Yeah.
And fucking me and Lee had whole conversations, not even fucking speaking. Especially when Lee was drunk, he couldn't talk. He gets so drunk he couldn't talk.
He lost his car a few times too.
Yeah.
And his shoes once.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how he.
Lee was cool, man. Lee was.
He's cool as fuck. I love him.
Lee's probably my age. Wouldn't you say maybe a little bit younger?
Maybe slightly younger.
Yeah. And he's a bald black dude who shows up in a suit.
He always has a suit. He always looks like impeccable.
Yeah. Suit jacket with like designer jeans and fucking shoes and shit. And he'd be sitting there and he'd buy drinks and buy rounds and people buy him rounds and
he got money.
He'd buy other people rounds. He had money. And sometimes I'd go, Lee, what you doing, man? He'd just go.
I'm laughing because that's exactly what he would do.
And I'd go, and I'd be going, yeah, I'd just going like, and he's like, You can hold a whole conversation with him without even fucking saying a word. Just him pointing and going and nodding. And I know what he's thinking, but he's so fucking drunk he can't talk.
Yeah.
He can't, and then
it's hysterical.
And sometimes he might say one or two things like, "I can't find my car."
Yeah.
So you can't find your car.
We're like, again.
You can't find a car?
Yeah, he did that all the time too. Oh my god.
Yeah.
We just saw him a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
He wasn't as drunk as usual.
No, he was okay.
He was alright.
He still goes to the warehouse now.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw him a couple of weeks back.
Yeah. Oh, he's fucking hilarious, man.
He is hilarious. He's really cool. I like him.
He left and he came back without his shoes. Remember that? And he reported back to security and he goes, "I can't find my car."
I'm willing to bet that he probably didn't even come there in his car. He probably took an Uber.
Yeah, probably lost track of what he was doing.
Yeah, because that happens a lot. Like, people will actually, because a lot of our friends, if they know they're gonna get like really fucked up, they'll take an Uber. They won't even bring their car, and then like later on in the night they'll be like, "Where's my car? Where's my keys?" Yeah. I'm like, "Bro, you took an Uber. Calm down." Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Your car isn't even here.
Yeah, but, fucking Lee. Lee's fucking hilarious. He's basically he's a black yuppie, basically.
Yeah.
And he likes fucking new wave music.
Yeah.
From the 80s.
Yeah.
And fucking he could name the bands and everything he'd fucking say. He had a shit ton of friends. Everybody knew him. And he would get caught up in these fucking shot wars. Because down at fucking the Independent Club.
Independent Bar, yeah.
Independent Bar, when it was downtown, it was like chemical warfare. based in alcohol.
Yeah.
Where some dude would just go, "Okay, everybody gets shots." And if you stand at the bar, one of your friends somewhere up the damn bar would buy the whole bar shots.
Yeah.
And this is pre-COVID. So Orlando was rolling. And everybody was making good money. It was easier to make money here. And you'd get fucking wiped out on other people's money.
Yeah.
And you're not really sure. It was like a casino-like atmosphere. It was awesome. It never quite recovered. It's never that good. It just changed. But it was kind of like being in a casino. And there were times where I was just fucking hammered. And Orlando cops are really cool about DUI. They kind of expected it on Friday and Saturday. They didn't really crack down on it. Yeah. We would see all kinds of accidents.
Yeah.
Jen was driving one time, got rear-ended.
Yeah.
And it fucking knocked her bumper off, and the dude fucking split. He didn't want to get in trouble.
That was on Halloween.
On Halloween, yeah.
I wasn't drunk either.
Yeah. Yeah. That dude was.
Yeah. I was trying to merge onto I-4, and the dude just plowed right into the back of me.
Yeah.
And then just went around.
Yeah.
And then Toby was in the car with us.
Yeah.
And we got to Toby's house to drop him off, and both of y'all went back behind because I was like, I don't even want to look.
Yeah.
Because the car was still running.
Yeah.
But
Toby's my leather daddy buddy.
Yeah. But then like they're like, well, your whole bumper's gone.
Yeah, bumper's gone. But it's okay. Insurance covered everything.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
I still remember that night. That was fucking crazy. Yeah, the dude, because I was just like, what the fuck just happened? Like,
yeah.
I'm just trying to merge, bro.
We're going onto the on-ramp, and a dude fucking came up behind her and just rammed her. Boom! And her fucking bumper went flying, and I was like, what the fuck? And the dude waved and left.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. I go, he's drunk.
Yeah, he must have been.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't want to get pulled over. Because it was on the way home. It wasn't on the way there. But like I said, I wasn't drunk. But...
We got caught in like a 30-car pileup one time.
Yeah.
That was wild.
I mean, we missed it.
We came out of it without a scratch, but fucking saw a dude in a truck. He was sitting there. He'd just been fucking hit, and he was sideways in the thing, and I'm looking right at the dude, and another car fucking just hit him. Boom! And I was looking right at him as he vanished. And I think it killed that dude.
Probably. That was a bad accident.
I was like, I got to get out of here, and I started weaving through all the cars, and I was looking in the rearview mirror, and I could see fucking headlights spinning where more people were in there piling up. That was a wild night.
See, that was when we were coming back from Tampa, wasn't it?
No.
Weren't we coming back from Tampa?
No. We were just coming back to my bar.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right.
The most impeded I ever was when we went to Battle of the Bars at fucking Rachel's fucking strip club.
The strip club.
Yeah, me, Jen, and our little lesbian daughter Kaylee, who's since passed from cancer. And all our friends went to this real high-end strip club called Rachel's. It's got real good
They got steaks
buffet
and everything.
steaks and everything.
It is nice in there.
Yeah. And these girls were such a hit with the strippers, man.
They loved us.
Yeah. I got so fucking loaded, it was like I was looking through a fucking paper straw. or a fucking toilet paper tube. I was just fucking using all my willpower to be able to drive, and to drive straight. And I made it. It wasn't that far of a drive, really, but...
Yeah, it's just like down the street. But honestly, like some of our friends like ended up sleeping in their cars in the parking lot.
Yeah, it got out of fucking control that night. Yeah, like 30% of our friends, because everybody converged there.
Because it was Hector who used to bartend at Venue 13.
Yeah. Versus another bar.
Versus another bartender from another bar. So they were having like a competition. So all of those bartenders, like, not groupies, but, you know, all of their fans or whatever.
All the customers.
Came to like support because whoever made the most money. And I think it was for charity too. I think they were doing like a charity thing also. But yeah, so Hector had like all the Venue 13. So all the goth people came out.
Yeah.
And
and all the goth people were a huge hit. All the fucking strippers loved us. Half the strippers were goth.
Well, because because we tend to be nice people and we don't like cause a lot of trouble.
And all the bi girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
like I said, you don't really get too much trouble in goth clubs, to be honest with you.
But
it's a pretty chill crowd.
I think I might have spent close to 200 on that night.
Yeah.
Maybe more. But I think we bought a lot of drinks too.
Yeah.
And I didn't plan on it, but I don't know how I fucking made it back. And I think I dropped Kaylee off at her house, didn't I?
Yeah.
We didn't take her to our place. I think we dropped her off, right? Or did we take her home?
No, I think she might have slept at your house.
Did she? Okay.
Or my house? Your house would have been closer.
Yeah.
To Rachel's.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe she just slept on the couch or something.
Maybe.
I think maybe she did. I think I went out to get something out of the car and fell asleep for a short time in the back seat.
Yeah.
Then I woke up and I was like, wait, how much time has passed?
Mark and Laura slept there.
Yeah, I think they slept.
They were too low.
In their trunk in the
They were too loaded. They couldn't.
Well, Rachel's has a big parking lot.
Yeah.
Rachel's is kind of like the big, huge, like high end.
Yeah.
Strip club. There's a lot of scuzzy ones, but that one's like
Rachel's nice.
That's kind of the classy one.
Yeah, they had a bike night. I never went, but they had like a bike night, and it might have been during the daytime. I think it was a bike day, but it had a buffet and everything. And I heard the buffet's great. I've never had it.
We keep joking that it's kind of a far drive for us.
Yeah,
now,
it's too far now.
It's a long way away.
Yeah,
but
just to go there.
Yeah, we're like, we should go and see if the food's any good. Because some people say, hey, the food's good. I'm like, are you just saying that because you just like to go look at boobies? Or is the food actually good?
Well, they're not. The strippers aren't in the buffet.
No, I know that. But it's like it's going on at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Xanada said, Tom sent me some video about strip clubs, but I've never been to one. Never had any interest in it.
Yeah, no. It's not a video about strip clubs. It's a security guy telling his story about pulling security in a strip club and fucking he tells kind of like the way those places run. But it's a good story.
Ian says
most of the fights he broke up were between the strippers.
Yeah, I could see
because he's in England. It's a British strip club.
Oh, okay. Ian says, "Did you say your daughter?" She wasn't really our daughter.
Yeah, we just called her our daughter.
She was just a friend of ours.
Yeah.
We just called her that because she was real little and she was she wasn't that much younger she was younger than us, but not that much younger.
Yeah, I'll show her.
She was probably, like I said, she's passed away since she got cancer and she died real young, like in her 30s. She
died at like 33.
34, I think. Yeah.
But if you looked at her, you would think she was about 15.
Yeah, she looked real young, but she wasn't. She was in her 30s.
She was like maybe 4'10", 4'9".
Yeah, she was tiny little person. And we used to drive her to the club all the time because she didn't have a car.
Yeah.
So we would always pick her up every weekend and like take her with us. So after a while, we started joking that she was like our kid.
She was like our kid, yeah. She was lesbian / bisexual. All right. but she was also just kind of. She would predate on people. She would go out to anybody who would give her stuff. She liked to be taken care of.
Yeah, but like not in a shitty
not in
way.
a bad way.
She wasn't like super manipulative or anything.
Yeah.
She was just cute and
and she knew it, so she
was real poor. Like
Yeah.
she lived in a trailer, like with her mom,
with her parents. Yeah,
and so she would always like. So if somebody was nice to her and bought her food and stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but she was like a part of the scene, though. Everybody knew her.
Yeah.
She wasn't really an outsider, and she would, like, come get me.
Yeah.
Just, come get me.
Well, every week, because we would come get her every week,
Right,
so she kind of got to expect it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
She got,
But I didn't mind.
Yeah, she was fun.
She didn't live that far away from us.
And she never had any money.
Yeah, she was always broke.
So you just bought her food, some drinks or something, and the other people would buy her drinks.
Yeah.
And Little Swole, my buddy, was just head over and heels in love with her.
Yeah.
And they were friends, but she wasn't into him.
Yeah.
But he was just fucking...
Well, she married her wife, Laura, later on. She did date guys every now and then, but she mostly dated girls. She was more into girls. But, like I said, and fucking, man, our friend Lil Swole, he was fucked up when she died. Fucked up. Well, because Lil Swole's mom had also died, like, the same... It wasn't right around the same time, but it was, like, the same 5-month period or something like that. So, yeah, it was not a great time for him. He actually moved back down here for a little while, but he couldn't find a job, so he moved back to New York. He's from upstate New York, so he had to move back up there because he couldn't find any work down here. Xana said, I grew up on in a trailer park. That's why I hang on to my money like Jenny. Yeah, I grew up in a trailer park too. So, that's what happens. He said, I spend money on weed, but that's it.
I got some pictures of Kaylee I'll dig up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really spend money on a lot of stuff that's...
I have to buy all her shit.
You don't have to buy all my shit.
Sure, she won't ever buy anything.
Well, and sometimes you like to buy clothes for me.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes you'll buy stuff without even, like, saying, it's like, hey, he's like, I just buy you all these. Yeah. I was like, okay. I mean, like, but I don't want you to think, because I didn't ask for that. So I don't want you to just think I'm ungrateful or anything like that. But it's just like, I didn't ask you to do that. You just did that out of the goodness of your heart.
Yeah. Well, I know that if I don't do it, you won't do it.
No, I probably wouldn't. Well, one, I
you
can't.
Won't buy yourself clothes.
No, I do every now and then. But like I said, I usually...
Making sure her shit is refreshed.
Yeah.
That she's got new stuff.
It's just that when I have money, I'm just always kind of like, man, I should put more money on my credit cards, or I should, like, try to save for a new computer or something like that. Like, I'm always, like, thinking of, like, more practical stuff. Because honestly, at the moment, I have so many clothes that I don't even have time to wear them all. I haven't even worn all the ones that I have yet. You know?
Okay. That's us. That's Kaylee in the front.
I love that picture.
Yeah. And that was around that time.
Yeah.
See if I can get the shit to focus.
And like I said, she looks like a child, but she's not.
Yeah.
At that point, she was probably in her
30.
late 20s or early 30s.
Yeah. So we called her our daughter.
Yeah. Just because we always picked her up.
Yeah. Oh, now you can see her face.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah. Super cute. She was super cute.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe when she fucking died. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've known several people in the scene that died real young of like cancer. I mean, we have a friend our age that had cancer too, but she lived. She had breast cancer, but she's doing okay. But man, we knew one girl that died she was 29.
Yeah. A brain tumor.
Yeah, she had a brain tumor.
Yeah.
That blows my fucking mind. My uncle died of a brain tumor when he was 32. It's just sometimes you get the fucking shit into the stick, man. There's not much you can do about it. Not to bring everybody down, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're bringing everybody down. Dude.
Sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Xander said Tom loves female fashion. He does, yeah.
Yeah.
He's real into it. He's always looking at Shein and like looking at, so he's like, do you like that? Do you like that? Like, that would probably look good on you. That probably would not look good on you. This, that, and the other thing.
Man, if I was a girl, the thing is if I was a girl, I probably wouldn't have the same sensibilities I have as a man to pick out women's clothes, but I could shop for women. I know exactly what looks good on any kind of woman.
Yeah, you're real good at that.
Yeah.
You're real good at that. He's more into it. I don't think that I would say that I'm super low maintenance, but I'm not super high maintenance either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot of stuff, like I like how some of the stuff looks, like the big fake nails and all the makeup and everything. Like I like how a lot of that looks, but a lot of it's just like a pain in the ass. So like a lot of times I'm just kind of like, ugh, like, you know what I mean? Oh, we got to do this now, and it's going to be like super uncomfortable. But, you know, it does look good. It does look good. But sometimes you have to like kind of balance because I kind of want to look cool when I go out, but you have to have like practical concerns. It's like, am I going to be able to dance in this? Can I go to the bathroom in this? Can I, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you can't. Like if it's just something that you're going to stay home and, you know, do a photo shoot, then that's fine. It can be super uncomfortable or super impractical or whatever. But if you have to go out and move around and you know, pee and stuff like that, it's, you know, sometimes you can't wear the shit.
I thought that I had more of Kaylee, but I guess that's the only picture I have of Kaylee.
Yeah, I thought you had more than that. Maybe on your other thing.
No, I looked on both. He made a video of her, like a rest in peace video.
Oh, don't play that. That'll make me cry. So I think we played that before, and I was just kind of like, oh, it just upsets me still. CB said one of the nicest people I ever knew and worked with died of a heart attack when he was 30. Yeah, I mean, it happens. Like I said, sometimes you just bad luck. Bad luck. What was I was gonna say something about Without Warning. That movie, because you just said like before we started streaming, you said, "Oh, that movie Without Warning is on YouTube for free." So we might do that for the Monday show.
I think Kaylee still has a Facebook.
Yeah, probably. I think they go to do the.
Yeah.
Doesn't Facebook like go to do the memorial thing if you?
Yeah, she still got.
Go over there and. Because I think you can even go in your Facebook thing and say who you want to take over.
That was Kaylee.
Your thing, yeah. Like if you die or whatever, which is kind of morbid, but shit happens. Shit happens. I gotta go to the bathroom, and I'm gonna get another drink.
Okay.
So, well, I can't really get around you, so.
Go ahead.
Oh, you got in the big chair.
What happened? Yeah, I got in the big chair. I'm now in command.
All right, Captain Kirk.
Yeah, like Captain Kirk. Normally, when you saw her in real life, she looked like that. And she was little, so you're always kind of looking down on her like that. These are poor Kaylee. Yeah. Miss old Kaylee. She was a trip, man. Let me see. Man. It's a trip. She still got her Facebook up. She was fun. Can't really see her there. Not a real good picture of her, actually. Trying to see where the photos are.
Yeah, I got a lot of friends on here. People still posting, telling her that they miss her. Putting that on her wall. Okay, let's see what everybody's talking about here. I had to put Jen's glasses on so I can see. Well, no, I can see right here. What am I talking about? He says, very cute. He says, I've already seen Without Warning. It's the one with the flesh-eating ninja stars. Yeah. Predator was actually like based on Without Warning. If you like Predator, then you'd like to see this movie. It's a slash, kind of like an 80s slasher movie. Low budget. And it was about an alien who had come down and was killing people. Now, when out in the woods, when you first see it, you're not sure. You think it's like a regular slasher, if I remember correctly. It's been a long time since I've seen it. You think it's a regular slasher. But then as it goes on, you realize it's not a human killing people. It's an alien. And when I first saw that, it tripped me out. I was in Mississippi for the summer. I was probably about 13, hanging out with my dad. My dad was, he was an avid hunter. We would go hunting. He had hunting rights on a certain part of the land. We'd deer hunt all the time. I said, Dad, you got to see this movie. And we were fishing. I was telling him about it. It's about an alien hunter coming down, and he was hunting people. He's like, no, really? And I was telling him all about it, how it went down. And he liked that idea. He goes, man, that's something else. Yeah, he liked that idea.
That's something else.
Yeah, and then later on, Predator came out. He loved Predator.
I mean, I feel like everybody loves Predator. That. How can you not love Predator?
Yeah, but I don't think my dad ever saw Without Warning. He just liked the idea that I told him. And the alien in that one, he had these little pentagon-shaped fucking creatures. They had a mouth on the bottom. He'd throw them like a frisbee. And when they'd hit you, little fucking tentacles, red tentacles that were sharp on the end would come out of the 5 ends, and it would wrap around all your bones, and the shit would sit there. And it had teeth on there doing that and shit, eating through you.
See, I kind of feel like that might have come from, there was a movie, what the fuck was the name of it? I saw it. It came out in the 1950s, and it was one of those alien invasion kind of movies. Peter Graves might have been in it. Beverly Garland might have been in it, but I couldn't remember the name of it. And one of the things that the alien would do was send out these little, like, frisbee-looking, but they kind of look like bats also. They kind of had, like, 5, like that.
Yeah.
And they would, like, get on somebody's neck, and it would, like, control their mind.
Sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, it Conquered the World, or it was one of those. It was one of those 50s sci-fi movies.
It sounds kind of like that Necronomicon movie that had
Jeffrey Combs in
Jeffrey Combs in it. Didn't that have something where the things were landing on the back of people's necks and would take them over? And
but like
grow inside there.
Yeah, but like I said, this was from the 50s. I'm sure.
Okay, I don't know
I just can't. I saw it on Riff Tracks or MST or something. It might have been it Conquered the World, but I could be remembering it wrong. I'm pretty sure Beverly Garland was in it because I love her, and I'm pretty sure she was in it. Ira says, when you meet one of the best people, you won't know when you'll lose them until it happens. I can tell she was one of them. Yeah, she was super cool. I really liked her. Just by the stories you've told about her. Yeah, she was super sweet. Just super sweet. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. It just like I said, I don't, I'm an atheist and everything like that, so I don't believe there's any kind of, God striking anybody down or anything like that. Like, shit just happens, which, that sucks, but that's just the way it is. So that doesn't mean anything necessarily. It's just appreciate people while they're here, I guess. That's, like, all you can do, because you never know what's going to happen. Let me see. Fiend Without a Face? I don't know. Maybe. Predator's a good franchise, but it really depends on which one you found really good. I mean, honestly, the first one is the best one. I liked Predators, I feel like. I remember that one being good, but other than that, I don't really care about them. The second one was okay, but I kind of feel like Predator was so good. Predator is like one of those movies like, I don't know, like Raiders of the Lost Ark or Back to the Future or something like that, where it's like, if you meet somebody and they don't like that movie, like, you need to back away from that person slowly because something's wrong with that person. I kind of feel like, because they're, like, just so universally beloved. Like, or yes, like, there must be something wrong with you if you don't. And I'm willing to say, like, most movies, obviously, people like them or don't like them, and I'm not going to argue with you about them, but it's like sometimes there's movies that it's just kind of like, how can you not like that movie? It's clearly like the best movie ever, but So interestingly, I don't want to say too much about it because I'm going to put up a review of this probably on Sunday. But finally, at last night, I watched Pearl, the Ty West movie from 2022, obviously the prequel to X, which I really liked. X. I did a review of it a long time ago. And I had been wanting to watch Pearl for like a really long time. And then I saw that finally Amazon Prime had added it, like, you know, for free. You don't have to pay to rent it. And I was like, holy shit, awesome. So, you know, Tom last night, I was like, well, what do you want to watch? He's like, I don't care. And I was like, well, I'm going to watch Pearl because I'm going to do a review of it. And it ended up, because I didn't know if he'd be into it or not. Because he didn't see X. Although he probably should because he'd really like it. But he ended up getting really into it. He was like, wow, that was really good. And I was like, yeah, that was an awesome fucking movie. It was awesome. I think I like it a bit better. It's hard to say. I think I liked it better than X, but they're two completely different movies, but still like really complimentary of one another, which I thought was like really great. So I'm super, super excited like about Maxine coming out. I think that comes out next month. I want to say it's like early July that movie's coming out. I saw a trailer for it when we saw Late Night with the Devil. And it looks really good. I think it's set in the early 1980s, early to mid 1980s. So I'm jacked about that. Yeah, Mango said Pearl is such a great film. It was so fucking good. It was like way better than I
the one last night?
Yeah.
Oh, that was
even
a great
expected.
Flick,
yeah. Yeah, I was like, I didn't know if you were gonna like it or not, but you got really into it.
No,
like
my kind of movie.
Like he even put his tablet down and was like actually watching it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But I'm gonna do a review of it. I wrote like a big long thing.
Yeah, it had good acting, really good acting. It was kind of a story that kind of drew you in about this chick living out on a farm. She wants to leave the farm, but her parents and everything, and she's married to a dude who's off in World War I. She wants to live her own life, but she can't really. They won't let her. So she's kind of repressed a lot, but she's also a little bit crazy.
Well, she's kind of a lot crazy.
Yeah, and then eventually she ends up killing her mom by accident, which leads her to kill her fucking dad on purpose. And then she kills the boyfriend.
She kills pretty much
on
everybody.
purpose, and then
she kills everybody.
She starts
Spoiler
killing
alert.
people out of yeah.
I mean, you knew that was gonna happen, if you saw
Right?
X.
But she's kind of sympathetic to me. I thought she was kind of
Which is crazy. And like I said, Mia Goth, that chick is fucking awesome. Like, I loved her and she was great in X. She was great in fucking Infinity Pool. She's just... I was watching, like, Mark Kermode talking about Pearl, like, earlier today, and he was like, man, she is, like, a force of nature.
Yeah. I put her at, like... And the way the story is, very much like fucking Anthony Perkins in Psycho. Especially 2, 3, and 4. Like, Perkins actually... I thought fucking what was that character's name from Psycho?
Norman Bates.
What's that?
Norman Bates.
Yes. Yeah. Norman was actually sympathetic.
He was, yeah.
Norman was okay. It was all the mental problems that he had that was making him do all that kind of shit. But Norman was a good guy. It's just that there was another side to him that was out of control.
Yeah.
But that wasn't really Norman. He was split in two. She's kind of like that in a way. She's okay. She just wants what everybody else has, but part of it is her mom's abusive to her.
Like emotionally abusive,
yeah,
not physically
and her
abusive.
dad's non-existent because he's fucking... I think he's got Lou Gehrig's disease. He can't move.
I was under the impression that because this was the time, it was 1918, so that was when there was like the quote-unquote Spanish flu pandemic, which killed like millions of people.
Yeah.
And I thought that he had that and it had fucked him up somehow. They didn't say that outright, but that was what I took from it.
He could look around. He could have expressions.
But he couldn't really move or talk or
he couldn't.
anything.
To me, it looked like Lou Gehrig's disease.
But yeah, so I don't know. But they were worried about him getting germs. But the thing about it is that, I think
they wouldn't have known anything.
Right. I mean, that was one of the things, and like I said, I don't want to go too much into it because I wrote this big long thing and I'm going to do a review of it that I'll probably put up on Sunday. But the thing that was really affecting about it, like for me, was that she knew that there was something the matter with her.
Yeah.
She knew, and then it was like, and she was like so desperate.
There was nothing she could do
to be normal, and she was just so desperate to be accepted and to be loved, and she just couldn't because she was so messed up. And it was just really sad. It was just
what
and the way she
on?
played it was so fucking great.
What service was that on?
It was on Amazon Prime.
Okay, and we paid for that, or was it free?
No, it was free.
Okay. So
well, that's why I was excited, because I've been wanting to see it for a really long time, and for a long time you had to pay to rent it, and then I saw that Prime had it up, and it was, we have Prime, so I was just so I could watch it for nothing, and I was just kind of like, awesome, I'm watching this shit.
Yeah, so it's called Pearl. And I recommended it. I didn't know anything about it.
And you haven't seen X either.
Yeah, it's part of
which you would probably like.
It's evidently part of like a trequel. What do you call it?
Well, it's gonna be a trilogy.
Trilogy, yeah.
X came out in early 2022.
Yeah.
Pearl, which is the prequel, came out in late 2022.
Yeah.
And the next movie, Maxine, is coming out next month, and that's gonna be set in the early 1980s and is following Maxine Minx which is also Mia Goth from X, but it's like a few years later, and the trailer looked really good. And like I said, Mia Goth is just
good actress.
She's fucking amazing, and it's just kind of like, and I said this in my thing that I wrote, but I was just kind of like, it still makes me very, very mad that a lot of awards giving, the Oscars, the Golden Globes, and stuff like that, a lot of them still won't acknowledge acting performances in horror films, which blows my fucking mind. It's 2024.
Yeah, but Hollywood is so fucked up right
now. And honestly, they never have. It's just kind of like really, Silence of the Lambs won, which I was shocked at that in the 90s. But, it's just kind of like,
Hollywood's the past.
To me, it seems like horror films, and I'm not an actor, so I wouldn't know, but just from an outsider's perspective, it always seemed to me that horror films are probably the hardest genre to work in as an actor. I would imagine.
I'll tell you what, though, if you make it in horror, you got fans for the rest of your life. You can make all kinds of money doing fucking the convention tours. You can make all kinds of money. I'd rather be famous in horror than anything else. But you know what, though? If you're famous in that other tentpole shit, though, you're so rich you don't need to work.
And you can do whatever movie you want, after.
But the thing is, though, is that era is fading. The future is going to be a bunch of real high-quality independent films that are kind of target marketed to segments and then their own fucking followings.
I mean, it's already kind of like that.
It's like that now, but that's the future. Like that fucking Devil one we saw, Midnight with the Devil.
Late Night with the Devil.
Late Night with the Devil. That shit was fucking great, man.
I loved that movie.
Yeah, that was like something I would have watched on Cinemax at night when I was a kid back in fucking 82. I was like, that would have blown me away, man. It blew me away seeing it in the theater. But had I saw that back in the 80s as a kid, it would have fucking blown my mind. I would have fucking loved that flick. I liked it seeing it today. And evidently everybody else appreciated it too. The movie had soul. That's the thing. These independent flicks like Pearl and Midnight with the Devil, they have soul. You can tell it's made by people.
Well, people that
know the genre.
Like I said, I'm always really into, and I think that's why I liked X and Pearl and stuff like that so much, because you could tell that Ty West, the guy that made them, because he also made House of the Devil, which was really good, The Innkeepers, The Sacrament, and you can tell somebody that has a lot of love for the genre and is homaging various things about the genre. Although the thing about Pearl is that it homages other, like The Wizard of Oz and old Golden Age Hollywood kind of stuff, which I thought was really cool. But X was homaging very clearly the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all those 70s exploitation films.
Yeah, in Pearl, it's taking place in the 1920s.
Well, 1918.
Well, okay, late. Okay, she got to correct me. All right. It's only a couple years before the 1920s, but you can tell that it's around that period. So it's a period piece, and it's fucking good. It's really good. That adds to it, because that's actually a time period that they don't talk much about in horror.
Not really. Yeah, not really.
So that added a different dimension, and the way they executed it was really good. Like she meets this projectionist, who he said he lives a bohemian lifestyle. He can pick up and move. He's got a car. All right. He sleeps at the theater. He starts dating her. She's coming over. He shows her a stag flick from Europe.
Which is funny because I've actually...
Me and Jen have both seen that one.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I have a DVD with that on it because I have a DVD with all these old stag films from the
and she's
20s
watching
and
that
30s.
shit. It was dude picks up these two chicks to have a threesome back in and it's from
I mean by today's standards it's
tame by today's standards.
It's pretty tame and it's they don't really have the They can't do all the angles and lighting and all that stuff yet. But
it's hard to shoot things.
But for back then, like that was pretty raunchy. It was
wild shit. So she's watching it, she's liking that, and she's like, "Yeah, in Europe they do this. Anything's possible, you know." He's like, I'd like to see you in a movie like this, and she's thinking, yeah. She's kind of thinking that, that would. She just wanted attention. She wanted attention and approval.
Well, like I said, that's a little bit of an homage, to X, which you haven't seen, which is about a group of people in 1979 making a porno and ending up on that same farm.
Okay.
Except like the old lady is like she's an old lady now.
Okay. Yeah.
And she's still like a murderer.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna see that one then.
Yeah, you should see. You'd probably like that actually. It's super gory.
All right.
It's super gory.
Yeah. Well, the prequel Pearl, I liked it.
Yeah.
And Jen knows. I put the tablet down and went, okay, hold on.
As soon as he puts the tablet down, like, especially if it's something I'm watching, like, if he doesn't really care about it, like, he'll just be on the tablet, like, talking to people on Facebook or looking at Instagram or whatever the fuck. Yeah. But if he actually puts the tablet down and pays, I'm like, oh, he must like this movie.
Yeah, because it was the acting and the story, which is critical.
But yeah, like I said, Phantom said they should have an awards show for horror films. Well, Fangoria has one called the Chainsaw Awards. They have it on Shudder, like, every year. And the David Dasmalchian from Late Night with the Devil, he usually hosts it. And I watch it sometimes. It's kind of long, but you know what I mean. So sometimes I try to watch it. But
it's a story about a female serial killer who's cute. She's very likable. You feel sorry for her, you know. Even though she does bad shit, there's just something wrong with her. You know what I mean? There's something about her where you're like, yeah, you know, shouldn't have done that, but you know, you're fucked up. That it very much kind of like the same kind of reaction I have to like Norman Bates. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where he's a good dude, but he can't help it. He's got a lot of problems that were put on him, really. You know.
But yeah, I mean, in Pearl, like that fucking monologue she does. That was like 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was just like on her face.
Yeah, good acting.
And I was just like fucking riveted the whole time. Like it was just, that was
when
fucking awesome.
When the movie ends, they zoom in on her face and she has this fucking satanic, fucking weird, crazy
and it just gets
smile
like more and more crazy.
For like fucking 6-7 minutes of the fucking end credits. Yeah, she's good.
She is so fucking
a trip.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's
awesome.
She's a trip.
But like I said, a lot of people, when that movie came out, like at the end of 2022, they're like, she should get an Oscar nomination, but she won't. And she didn't. Well, it was just kind of like when everybody said Toni Collette should have got one for Hereditary, which she absolutely should have. You know, you don't really get, you know, somebody's talking about The Exorcist and how Linda Blair should have got one, which, yeah, I agree with that. Now, at least The Exorcist did get a Best Picture nom. It didn't win. I think The Sting
A lot of those awards have to do with who was involved in it, the budget, how much money they had wrapped up into it, too. Politics. Pearl didn't have a big budget. They're not going to go to bat for that.
And like I said, it seems like horror is still kind of a little bit of a ghettoized.
It's ghetto.
It's not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah.
But
you're only gonna get awards if you're in a real high budget film, because that's where the money is. They all promote each other.
Or an independent film that's, because I've seen a lot of people get nominated for stuff that didn't make any money, but the acting was just really good.
Independent film awards, maybe.
Yeah. Well, no, like Oscars too.
They have that also.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I kind of feel like horror movies still get shit on a little bit. It's better than it used to be, but there's still a little bit of a stigma about it still.
Yeah, fuck them.
In this day and age. Which, like I said, in any just universe, Mia Goth totally should have gotten a nomination at least.
Horror and sci-fi are the most entertaining genres, really, if you ask me.
I mean, I think.
Because it's fertile ground to see new shit. And if you do it right, then... Like Upgrade. People forgot about Upgrade. When Upgrade came out, that was some brand new shit.
God damn, that was a good movie.
Yeah, I got it.
We reviewed it
I've only seen it once. I want to see it again.
We reviewed it a while back.
And I've only seen it once. And that was some good fucking sci-fi action. And it was a totally fresh take on something. You know, I'd never seen that before. But that was like something that just kind of came and went. I think people liked it, but you never hear it mentioned anymore.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it fell between the cracks a little bit, even though it's a great fucking movie.
Yep.
But yeah, well, see, that's the thing. The cool thing about what I always liked about horror is that you can explore all kinds of fucked up, like pretty much the whole range of human emotion and human experience in a way that is impactful and fucked up and like actually makes you pay attention to it. It doesn't have to be realistic. It doesn't, you can go the metaphorical route and shit like that. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like horror has always been and sci-fi has always been like a fertile ground for that. And for whatever reason, that seems to not resonate with people. Because I don't know. Like, I kind of feel like a lot of people that are like film nerds or film snobs or whatever, and I'm not shitting on, just like, I'm kind of a film nerd too, but it does seem like people tend to like movies when they're more straightforward, I guess, or like realistic. Like, if anything smacks of fantasy or, heightened reality or anything like that, people get kind of they don't take it as seriously, I guess.
Xanada says that Tom would hate me for saying that he didn't like Alien versus Predator. He said good idea but bad execution.
I didn't really like it either.
Alien versus Predator, both 1 and 2.
It was all right.
I'm not gonna say they were fucking excellent flicks. I said that was just bonus material. That's what I liked. You could see some more Alien. You could see some more Predator. It was the idea was cool. Execution was kind of spotty, but I didn't care because at that point I really wasn't taking it that seriously. You know what I mean? I wasn't really taking it that seriously. It didn't have to deliver on the level of, say, Predator 1. Predator 1 is epic. There's little things about Predator 1 that average civilians wouldn't fucking recognize. I mean, there's just detail going down into the uniforms that those guys were wearing. Shit that only a dude who was in service around that time, and I was in a couple years after that, but would recognize. Like, for instance, Mac is wearing a BDU top, battle dress uniform top, but it's got fucking pockets on the fucking shoulders. That's not stock. They didn't come that way. That was something dudes from fucking recon and scout and ranger units did back in those days. You would take some old BDUs and cut the front pockets off the ones you were going to throw away, take those front pockets and sew them onto the fucking sides for mat pockets. And they knew that because they had military advisors in that movie.
Yeah.
And they were doing little upgrades and shit that we would do. The equipment that they were wearing was correct for mercenaries. But it was guys that had a military experience of what they would wear if they were mercenaries. There's just a lot of little things about that movie, Blaine says, man, I haven't seen the bush this bad, it makes fucking Cambodia look like Kansas. He goes, if you lose it in here, you'll be in a world of hurt. And a civilian wouldn't know what that means, Fucking, just because the script is written by infantrymen. You do not understand what it's like. A long-haul trucker would know what it's like. Getting white line fever of just driving at night relentlessly. Just those fucking lines, all right? That could get to you, especially back in the old days here in the United States where you had long stretches of road without anything on either side of it. Now it looks a lot more built up, In the infantry, you're spaced out 10 meters, front and back. The guy in front of you is ahead of you. You're looking at glowing cat eyes on the back of his helmet or his patrol cap. You're busting brush and fighting brush all fucking night long. Water fucking hitting you from condensation. It's a miserable existence. The thicker the brush, the more frustration you're going through. And he says, if you lose it out here, you'll just be in a world of hurt. And you're not talking sometimes for days or hours. It seems like days. Because you can't talk in the field while you're traveling. And you just go insane fighting fucking limbs. It sounds stupid. But tree limbs hitting you over and over and over again.
Well, yeah, anything like that.
Yeah.
It's like a kind of torture.
It's like torture. Yeah, like Chinese water torture.
Yeah.
And
it sounds dumb when you just like kind of say it. It's like, oh, it's like bullshit. But no. After hours and hours, that's absolutely not bullshit.
Fucking fighting fucking
that's absolutely
tree limbs.
Not bullshit.
Yeah.
That would make anybody lose their shit.
Yeah. And it's dark. You can't see anything. It's at night. So there's no visibility. You're just running through darkness and getting hit by tree limbs. And moving things out of the way. And uneven territory. And slipping and falling. And you're just so fucking frustrated. And you're exhausted. You're doing this like on 2 or 3 hours of sleep a night. It's fucking terrible.
Ian says, horror used to have its own award ceremony called the Saturn. Do they still have that? Not that I know of. Like I said, I'm not super invested in awards shows, but it does still kind of make me mad that actors aren't recognized for their work in horror. Which, like I said, I kind of feel like that's probably the hardest genre to work in. Because you have to make something that's unbelievable, believable. You have to sell it. And honestly, like... that's easier to do. I feel like I said, I'm not an actor. If anybody is, please correct me. But I kind of feel like it's easier to sell an emotion if it's based in, like, a real situation. If you're in a horror movie or a sci-fi movie or something that is, like, you know, paranormal or something, then you have to not only sell that emotion, but you have to sell the whole believability of the situation, which is already, like, a hurdle in itself. So I kind of feel like that's a much harder ask. So whenever anybody knocks it out of the fucking park, like Mia Goth did, like Toni Collette did, like David Dastmalchian did in Late Night with the Devil, then I think that should be recognized with something. Something. You know what I mean? That's all. It's just, I feel like it would be harder. Yeah, Xanada said, we talked about Alien versus Predator as kids forever, then it finally came out and it was just bleh. Yeah, that's the thing. I just kind of feel like the thing about a lot of these franchise movies is that you get, like, one of them, the first one comes out and it's a surprise hit or whatever. And then they're like, okay, well, obviously we need to cash in on this shit. And so they start making other ones. And then the more they make, the less involved the original creators are. And it's just kind of like they care less and less. They're just trying to cash in on the IP. And all this stuff, and you can tell, you know what I mean? That's why a lot of franchises, you know, in horror or whatever genre, that's why a lot of the movies, as they go on, tend to get worse and worse, because more people get involved that don't give a shit about it. They don't give a shit about the story, they don't give a shit about the characters, they weren't involved at the beginning, all they want to do is, like, make money off a property that everybody knows. So that's why I always appreciate horror when it's made by someone who clearly loves the genre, knows a lot about the genre, like knows the visual language, like, you know, has seen all of the stuff and is homaging various other things. And it's just kind of like, you can really tell the difference between a movie that was made by someone that was, this is their vision and they're really into this and this is the story they wanted to tell, versus somebody who just made this for a paycheck.
Yeah, but there's another thing that you also got to factor in there. You have some people out there writing movies, the vision they want to tell, but they don't have the life experience to tell it.
Well, that too. And I'm not saying that necessarily makes the movie good, right, because a lot of people are like, oh, I have a vision for this, and they make it, and it's shit. You know what I mean?
You know, because that didn't happen to them in their life. It was all just what made Predator 1 such a fucking classic is that the script was written by dudes that were in the infantry. They slipped that underneath the fucking door to some director, and he read that and go, oh yeah, this is gonna be a great movie. Well, that script, just even the fucking dialogue and what happens that was infantry dudes wrote that.
Yeah.
So that was their vision. That's why it's so accurate. And it has soul. That movie has fucking soul. Even when they shot it, there's certain scenes where people are out of focus. And there's some that adds soul to that. It's like you're really there because it's not crystal clear. When you're really out in the woods doing things, you're not focusing in on everything. You're in your kind of your own little world. Everybody, it just kind of gives a more of a realistic, analog feel because there were imperfections in things. You know,
yeah.
And
it's like, even if that doesn't register consciously, subconsciously that would register and kind of immerse you more in the situation.
If you were to make that all HD and make everything fucking crystal clear and perfect, it would just look fake.
Well, it would look flat.
It would look flat and fucking boring. There's something about it that looks a lot more artistic because there's a bunch of imperfections in that movie.
Because you know how sometimes you see a movie by someone that maybe isn't like a real good filmmaker, but they kind of know what they're doing, but they don't have like any artistic vision or anything, and everything they make looks like a fucking soap opera or like a TV, because everything's like really flat. It's all in one dimensional. Yeah. Like the lighting is kind of boring. There's no drama. There's nothing to it. You know, there's no visual language. There's no style.
Predator 1 had the feel of combat footage. like it was done from a combat photographer who didn't have time to get everything in focus. But it was just good, and it was shot on film too. It wasn't video, so it kind of had a soft look to it, and there's just something kind of aesthetic about that.
Yeah,
something, you know what I mean, just HD and fucking 4K. That might be good if you're shooting a lot of CG, but that doesn't look that good if you're just in jungle. You know what I mean? Fucking shooting something that's real gritty.
Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of better.
The subject matter and the environment of your film has to dictate like the direction that you take with the visuals for it.
I mean, it might be sexy to have fucking a lens that's slightly fogged up or dirty when you're shooting it, because it makes you feel like you're seeing combat footage, you know?
Yeah. Ian says, wasn't Rosemary's Baby nominated by the Academy for something? It might have been, like in the late 60s. Yeah, it came out in 68. Also, Hitchcock flicks have always gotten respect, though those are definitely more reality-based than fantasy. Yeah, and here's another thing, and I might have mentioned this in my History of Horror video that I did a while back, which if you guys haven't watched that, please watch that, because I worked really hard on that, and it's like 2.5 hours long. But I think I touched on this a little bit. It does seem to me that whenever the establishment, if you want to call it that, recognizes the excellence of a horror film, they always want to call it a thriller.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like, well, that happened. Well, okay. So Hitchcock's films, technically those are thrillers. I kind of feel like, because it's all based in reality, there's no supernatural shit going on. And I'm not saying that horror has to have supernatural shit in it either, but I'm just saying that generally those would be considered thrillers, which for whatever reason is a more respectable genre than horror. And I kind of feel like you saw this happen with Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs, which won all the awards. It won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actor, like everything. It won like the Big Five in 1991 or whatever. And I kind of feel like there's still like arguments nowadays. Well, that was a thriller. That's a fucking horror movie. I'm sorry. Yes, it has thriller elements. No, there's no supernatural elements. It's about a serial killer and stuff like that. But I would argue that that is a straight up horror movie. I mean, you know?
Senator said, Jesse Ventura did such a good job on Predator that we elected him governor in my home state of Minnesota.
Yeah, that's
my
right.
parents both voted for him.
The governor.
Yeah, the governor. Yeah.
No, that was
Arnold.
Arnold.
Yeah. This goes back to kind of what I had said in I think the previous show, maybe 2 shows ago, when somebody asked me how tall Arnold was. I think Arnold's about 6 feet. What they claim in public, I don't know. It's usually across the board. Thing is, though, is that Arnold went to Mr. Universe and fucking Olympia. I think he did Olympia. Yeah, he did Olympia too. So they would his accurate height should be on record there. When you looked at, if you actually look at Predator 1, you can see that the director is very careful about how he shoots Arnold. And he makes sure that Jesse Ventura is nowhere really around him. Because if you were to put Arnold next to Jesse, Jesse would fucking tower over Arnold. He's not as big as you think he is. He's about 6 feet. I think Jesse, the body, might be 6'5", 6'4". He's huge. But it never really comes across in any of the movies that he's in with Arnold. They never let Jesse upstage him.
Well, because Arnold is a much bigger star.
Yeah, right. But in reality, if you put those guys side by side, Jesse's much bigger than him.
I mean, if I was a big, huge superstar and everything like that, I wouldn't want some hotter chick or some chick that was skinnier with bigger boobs or something like that, to upstage me in movies. So I get it. I get it. I wouldn't be a diva about it because I'm not like that, but you know what I mean. Well, I'd probably seethe about it quietly.
I think the director just didn't want his star to be upstaged.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Arnold that said that.
It wasn't Arnold.
Don't let him upstage me.
Yeah, I don't think it was Arnold doing it. It's just the director.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they wanted everybody. He was the lead, so they kind of wanted him to be the focus.
I mean, you guys can look it up. Wouldn't surprise me if Jesse's 6'6". I mean, he's fucking a monster. I know he's bigger than Arnold. Lou Ferrigno is bigger than Arnold.
Yeah.
You know, and Lou, you know, he played the original Hulk. Lou doesn't get the credit he deserves. Actually, there were times where Lou Ferrigno was bigger and more juicy looking than fucking Arnold.
Juicy.
Arnold's best look in the movies was in Predator 1. And he's down a lot of weight. He's slimmed down quite a bit. He still looks fucking great, though. But if you ask me, on film, he looked best in Predator 1. The biggest you'll see him in a movie was in Conan 1. And you can still see next to some of the guys that he's, like when he's going up to Thulsa Doom's temple and he hands the fucking amulet to that guy and they go ahead and go up there, fucking the security guys and shit. He's not very big. He's about 6 feet tall, which amongst that fucking cast wasn't that tall in fucking Conan.
Xanada and Tammy both came in. Jesse Ventura is 6'5". Tammy said he's 6'4".
Okay.
And Arnold is supposedly 6'2".
Yeah, I think he's
and Lou Ferrigno is 6'5".
Yeah.
I dated a guy who was 6'5".
Yeah, it's amazing. That's tall.
And that was when I was like, remember when I was like real skinny?
Yeah.
And like super little?
Yeah.
He could actually like pick me up and like put me on his back like a backpack.
Yeah.
That's how much bigger he was.
He wasn't a massive guy. He wasn't that he nowhere near what fucking Lou Ferrigno was. You know, those guys are fucking huge. He was just kind of an average build guy for his size. Some of them dudes are just genetically pretty fucking strong. It's a big frame.
Hugo says, I think Terminator is a slasher. I would agree with you on that.
It's
actually, that is essentially a slasher movie.
Yeah, it's basically a horror movie.
Well, it's kind of the same thing. It falls into the kind of same thing as Alien, the first Alien, which technically is a sci-fi movie. The Terminator is technically a sci-fi movie, but
it's also kind of like Jaws.
That's kind of a straight-up horror movie, honestly. Well, just like the first Alien is kind of like a haunted house movie, except it's in space, and it happens to be an alien as the monster. Same thing with Terminator. It's a slasher movie, but the killer happens to be a robot from the future. That's all. Yeah. But it's the same formula otherwise. I don't want to say formula because it's a lot better than that, but you know what I'm saying. So it's weird because, like I was saying before, I think the stigma has fallen away a lot, but I do kind of feel like still movies that are lauded in the horror genre are still kind of like, they're still kind of, well, that's a thriller. You know what I mean? I consider a thriller more like a mystery or like a murder mystery or like something like that with no supernatural elements, pretty much. But if you go too much in that direction, like with gore or you go to real dark places with it, then I think you've gone into horror movie territory, so you might as well just admit it. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, Xana said Terminator is a horror movie. Oh, it definitely is. Definitely.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't really know. I guess most people consider that a horror movie, right?
Yeah, it's a horror movie.
I mean, I think
horror sci-fi.
Yeah, which is fine.
That's the way it should have been. That's why I didn't like. I'm not a fan of Terminator 2 that much. I know everybody thinks that's the greatest action movie of all times. It does have elements of that. But man, really, the only good Terminator was the first one.
Well,
after 2, it rapidly fell apart.
I think that's why
they should have shut the fuck up about Terminator after Terminator 1 or Terminator 2, maybe. I could allow Terminator 2.
I mean, that's a good movie. I just would
have stopped.
It's not a horror movie.
You're right.
It's an action movie, which is fine too. But
I thought they watered it down in Terminator 2 quite a bit.
Well, they made him the good guy.
Yeah. I would have left Terminator 1 just like it was. I don't think I would have. But who am I? I mean, they made a shit ton of money off Terminator 2.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like like us nobodies can sit here and complain all they want, but obviously people wanted to see it, and a lot of people did see it, and they made a fuck ton of money, so they kept making them.
I never would have made Terminator 3 and 4 and fucking all and 5 and fucking.
Well, I mean, if it was me. Like, I would just be like, because you know what I mean? I don't really like to revisit stuff all that much. It's like, you know, if I write a story, for example, I'm just kind of like, you know, I wrote that, it's done. I don't really want to write a sequel to it or revisit that universe. It's like, that's over. I want to do new shit. Like, but they keep going back to the well because of money, obviously, and people keep going to see it, so that's why they keep doing it. But honestly, I can probably count on one hand, at least in horror, the franchises that all of them are good, or most of them are good. Like, there really aren't that many. You know, most of the time, the first one was sufficient. We didn't really need any more of that. You know what I mean? You could have just gone on to something else. But, you know, you got to make money somehow. So I'm not going to bitch too much. Like I said, if people want to see it, then... But I'm usually like a big... Because look. Nightmare on Elm Street. First one from 1984. The Wes Craven one. Fantastic. Great movie. One of the best movies of the 80s. Second one, Third one, pretty good. Rest of them, Did we need that? Not really. Honestly, the first one was the best one because Freddy was scary.
We talking about Freddy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the other ones, they kind of made him funny, and it was just kind of like, this is not doing it for me anymore. Like I said, I'm not, and I think I brought this up on my horror video too, my history of horror video. I'm not a huge fan of horror comedies. Now, I have liked a lot of them.
There's some that are good, man.
There's some that are great.
I like The Frighteners, the director's cut.
Yeah. Like, I can think of, well, you know, I say that, but it's like, you know, Evil Dead was a horror comedy. Yeah. Like, fucking Tucker and Dale versus Evil was fucking amazing. I love that fucking movie and hilarious. And also gory. But, you know, Dead Alive. But it's not usually my go-to. You know what I mean? Because I have a real weird sense of humor, so a lot of comedies don't really land for me. If I'm gonna watch a horror movie, I want it to be horror. I want it to be fucking scary and disturbing, and I want it to like give me nightmares and shit like that. That's why I'm watching it. I will watch stuff that's funny, but it's not my favorite thing. But you know, I don't know. So that was one thing that I didn't like about, you know, the first Nightmare on Elm Street. Like I said, scary. Freddy was fucking scary in that.
Phantom said that 1 through 4 in Terminator were all good. The one after that, like 5, that it was shit. 5, that's the one with the cyber or the cyborg chick that we saw in the theater, right? I can't keep them all straight. 3, I thought was kind of hokey. I was like going, The problem after 2, in the writing, the thing that really fucked it up, that they should have never even is that they gave Skynet a face. They should have never done that. You should have never had, as an audience, as the audience member, you should have never had any kind of interaction or any contact with Skynet.
It's scarier if it's
scary if you don't know.
Ambiguous. Yeah. Nebulous. That's scarier.
As soon as it starts making humanoid fucking images on a screen and talking to you and trying to interact, you've now humanized it. It was Skynet, me as a kid watching fucking Terminator 1. What made it fucking intimidating is that it was basically a computer mind, like an insect mind that was faceless and voiceless. And it has decided that humans have to go. There's no reason for it to ever talk to you or to reason with you.
Yeah, why would it?
You are a bug compared to it. So why would it even talk to you? So they that's kind of like pulling the rug out from underneath it. A truly superior computer intellect would have no need to talk to humans at all.
No, it's just going to do its thing.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of series of numbers going, and it's fucking computing.
And, you know, like I said, even from a writing standpoint, you know, you got to make a movie somehow, so there has to be an antagonist and stuff. But, and I've said this on multiple occasions, in horror movies specifically, I kind of feel like your antagonist is better the less you explain about them. Yeah. It's much scarier because you can fill in your own blanks with shit that scares you.
Right, so much better if all of a sudden you have a character that's saying, well, we think what Skynet is probably doing, and it's probably doing this and that. Or possibly if we do this, Skynet might respond with, you know, there's no telling. And maybe you have like a Terminator character might say that Skynet has ordered something or other. You never should ever fucking...
No, just don't explain it. Like I said, keep it slippery, keep it nebulous,
And
you don't know what its motives are.
Yeah.
You don't know where it is.
Yeah.
You don't know what it's doing.
Yeah.
You don't know what it's planning.
Right.
You know, that's much scarier.
Yeah, because it's superior to a human, so it has no. It will never talk to you.
No, why would it?
Why would you talk to an ant?
Right.
Or why would you talk to a bug you're trying to kill? That's the way it would see you.
Yeah. So it's like it wouldn't have any reason to interact with you at all. Yeah, CB brought up something that this was actually the next thing that I was going to bring up. It's like this is why Michael Myers was so scary, because he was a white face with no expression.
No expression.
Yeah, the first Halloween, that's why that fucking movie was so scary.
It's because Shatner.
They didn't explain it.
Yeah.
He's just a dude.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any expression.
Yeah. He
doesn't really have any motive other than he's just showing up and killing people.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't explain it. Like I said, the later movies where they tried to explain it, and then they had that whole, what was that whole, like, subplot with Thorn, whatever, where they tried to make it like it was some, I don't even remember what all that bullshit was. I blocked it out. But they tried to explain it too much, and that's why I don't like the Rob Zombie remake, because they tried to explain, like, oh, he was horribly abused and all this stuff. It's like, nobody wants to fucking see that.
No, you don't want to humanize it.
He's scary he was the boogeyman.
Yeah.
No explanation, no motive, no backstory, no nothing. That's terrifying.
That's why they got all these fucking alien fans that want an explanation for the xenomorph or where it came from. You should never give
Quit
them
explaining
that.
Shit.
You should never give them
You're
that.
ruining it.
The xenomorph was the xenomorph. You shouldn't tell them anything.
You're ruining it.
Because whatever you come up with is going to be a disappointment to the audience. It's better if it's just fucking vague. That's why I really was a fan of Prometheus, even though they fucked it up because they edited a lot of the good shit out of it. They should have gone that direction. But you got a lot of knuckleheads fans that wanted to focus on xenomorphs and shit. Xenomorphs weren't fucking interesting to me.
I mean, if you want to nerd out about it, like, write your own fanfic about it. Don't make shit that's like canon and we're gonna make a whole movie explaining. Just don't explain it.
The engineers were more interesting, and they never really got into it in the movies of what they were. It's in the script. I mean, if you really dive into the fans of Prometheus, they know who the engineers were. They were seeding life on other planets, and we were one of the planets that they made. And they decided they didn't want us because we fucked up. You know, we didn't turn out to be what they wanted. And the reason why they were doing it is because they could no longer reproduce. They were all the same gender. They were all the same sex, and they didn't reproduce. But they had immortality. That was something they traded off. They genetically engineered themselves to have immortality, but they didn't want to overpopulate, so they didn't have reproduction anymore. But they lost the ability to. They started to die off, and they lost the ability to reproduce. So they tried to reboot themselves on other planets in male and female gender so they could reboot their species because they could reproduce. And that was a great story, but the edit of Prometheus fucked up the storytelling. They could have made that really interesting, but they didn't want to get into the religious aspects and the
they didn't want to offend
and the food of the gods, chariots of the gods. They're getting into that fucking what's his name Sitchin, Zechariah Sitchin.
Or who wrote Chariots of the Gods?
Chariots of the Gods. That's what they're talking
What
about.
was that fucker's name?
Yeah.
I'll remember it in a minute.
Yeah, but that would have been a great story. But they didn't think it was marketable. I think they were wrong, though.
I mean, there's no way of knowing now because they already released it, but yeah.
I think they were wrong. They should have gone with the original concept.
I think most of the time, because sometimes I see a movie and it's just kind of like, then I'll read about it's like, well, this was the original story. I was like, why didn't you go with that? That sounds like a lot better.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you do that? But, that's... what are you going to do? Ian says Halloween is the most corrupted and degraded franchise of all, I think.
Terrible.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, some of the other ones were okay.
Halloween 3 was one of the best ones.
And that didn't even have anything to do with Michael Myers.
And that did Halloween 3. They
That's
should have gone with that
movie.
shit. I would have...
Like I said, John Carpenter wanted to do more of like an anthology.
Yeah.
He's like, we'll put out a movie every year on Halloween, but it'll be different. But it'll be all based around like Halloween... like, mythology or whatever, and that was a great idea.
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Nobody wanted to do that.
A great film I grew up with, and I didn't see any of the other movies before. I just saw that one. And I was like, man, this is awesome. Because I wasn't expecting any kind of Michael Myers. I didn't even know who that was.
Yeah, he didn't give a shit about that.
I didn't even know who that was. I just saw that, and I just loved it. And you could have done something with that.
Yeah.
There could have been sequels to that.
Wonder if they'll ever do a sequel to that.
Silver Shamrock, bitch.
I'm surprised no one's done anything with that.
Yeah.
That's a great concept.
A wild concept.
It's a great concept.
Yeah.
I mean, it's out there.
Yeah.
But it worked in the context of the movie, and they crushed a bunch of kids' heads.
Yeah.
Always a plus in my book.
That freaked me out as a kid. When they put that family in the test room and they had the masks and the fucking test signal through the television, and the kid's head turned into fucking serpents and roaches and shit. And it killed the family members. I fucking loved that
Even
shit.
in the 80s, American horror movies were reluctant to kill off the kids. Yeah. Italian movies, not so much. They would kill everybody. But it's just kind of like... so when you saw a kid get killed in an American horror movie, that was like a big deal. Because it was just like, oh shit, this is going there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Cameron King says, The Shining is a beautiful horror film. If you guys seen it, very well made. Oh my God. The Shining is in contention, along with John Carpenter's The Thing, for my favorite horror film of all time. Well, it's probably like in the top 3, because also Robert Wise's The Haunting from 1963 is up there too. That's like my top 3. The Shining, though, is probably, and I hopefully you're talking about the Stanley Kubrick version, and not the terrible Mick Garris version, from 1997. The Shining is probably the horror movie that I've seen the most times. And the reason for that is that every time I watch it, I find a new angle. I find like new stuff in it. Shit, man, like a couple years ago on my birthday, we went to the theater. They were doing, they were showing it like on the big screen. Like, it was, what do they call that? Fathom Events? Fathom Events was doing it because they started doing, you know, a couple times a year they show like old movies like on the big screen. And I was like, man, I never got to see The Shining on the big screen, and I would love to see it on the big screen. So we went to see it like on my birthday, and it was amazing. The theater was like packed, and I'd seen it probably 100 times. I have it memorized, you guys. And it's just kind of like seeing it on the big screen was a completely different experience. And it was awesome because like everybody in the theater was packed. It was just like completely full. And everybody was, it was so quiet in there you could hear a fucking pin drop because everybody was there to see this movie and they were just all like fucking entranced. Even though they'd probably all seen it a million times like I had too. But I can see why there's like crazy conspiracy theories and shit like that about this movie because the book's great too, but the movie is just way beyond. Way beyond. Like with all this fucking symbolism and the way it's shot and everything like that. It's just, I never ever get tired. I think that is maybe the only horror movie that I never get tired of watching. I could watch it every single day happily for the rest of my life. And I would never get sick of it. Never. Because there's always something else. Little details that you missed. Every single time. It's like, it's a fucking masterpiece. So like I said, I don't know, probably, it's in my top 3 for sure. It goes back and forth, because like I said, The Thing is also up there. The Haunting is up there. Those are my top 3. But they change positions depending on what day it is. Somebody asked us if we'd seen The Shining, and I was like,
bitch, oh yeah, like a million times.
Have we seen The Shining? Yeah. Yeah, we have it on 4K. We've watched it at home lots of times. We saw it in the theater. Yeah, I've seen it like a million times. Yeah, Cameron said, of course, never read the book, but I loved it. Really spooked me, especially as a kid. Yeah, I first saw it back in... I didn't see it in the theater, because it came out in, what, 1980? I was 8 when it came out. Now, my parents would not have taken me to see it in the theater, but I did see it when it came out on cable probably a couple years later. So I probably saw it when I was about 10, 11 years old. That scared the fucking shit out of me, that movie. And for a long time, like, I kind of wanted to watch it again, but it's just, like, it scared the shit out of me. And I just kept watching it, like, over and over. And eventually, like, I got over it. But there's something about the atmosphere of that movie. There's something about the vibe of that movie. It's just so...
Shiny?
Yeah. Like,
well,
what's
Kubrick.
Yeah, like, fucking Kubrick, man.
Yeah.
He was just, like... There's a reason that film nerds still jerk off about him.
Yeah, Kubrick's good.
I mean, all of his films are fucking...
He doesn't have a bad one.
No.
Even Eyes Wide Shut, which I think is his weakest, is still fucking
and
strong.
And that was his last one.
And that was still strong.
It's my least favorite of his, but it's still great. I like it more because I saw it in the theater when it came out. Eyes Wide Shut, I'm talking about. And I liked it, but I didn't love it. You know what I mean? Like, I saw it and I was just kind of
aged very well. He was trying to tell us something.
But then, like, later, like, as I watched it more over the years, I appreciate it more. It's still my least favorite film of his, but I appreciate it a lot more than the first time that I saw it.
If anybody wants to buy Jenny a drink, you can go ahead and drop us a super chat.
Oh, well,
you know I got to pass the collection plate around. It's my job.
Look at you.
And if you're listening to this recorded after the fact, you can give us a go ahead, what do they call it? A super thanks, which we get super thanks every now and then. And Jenny responds to every single one of them.
I do indeed. Oh, and also, the book of The Shining, if you haven't read it, it's actually one of Stephen King's best books. It's different than the movie. Like, the framework of it is essentially the same, but King's book goes a lot more into the history of it, you know, and specifically, like, the hauntings that were going on. Because when you see the movie... And I think this is one of the things that I like about the movie as compared to, I don't know if you know, but Mick Garris and Stephen King made a miniseries of The Shining in 1997 because Stephen King did not like Stanley Kubrick's version of his because he thought he changed it too much.
I actually liked the miniseries. Jenny didn't like it.
I do not like it.
It's not the same as the movie.
It's too literal.
I don't consider it to be the same thing. If you want to know what The Shining book is like, see the TV series miniseries.
That's much closer to the book.
Yeah, that's basically what the book was, and
but
it helps you kind of understand a lot of the stuff that you see in Kubrick's movies. But really, it's scarier if you just see Kubrick's movie, because really, in
there's no context.
Movie, you're only seeing what
like Wendy
saw
perspective.
Yeah, she doesn't know anything else that's going on,
and she doesn't know the history, and so that's much scarier to me because you're seeing it from like a protagonist that is in essentially the same position that you would be.
Yeah.
If you go in there, you don't know the history of it. You don't know what went on or anything.
You don't know what the ghosts are saying to each other.
Right.
You know.
So it's like, so that's going to be, it's much scarier to me if there's no context.
Right.
So I think that Kubrick was very wise to remove the context.
Yeah, and just give it from Wendy's point of view.
And just give it like what she saw, and you can interpret it however you want. The book and the miniseries from 1997 pretty much lay everything out. ABC to me makes it less scary. The book is great though. The book is great.
Yeah, the book's really good. The main difference in Kubrick's movie to the book is that there was no maze. It was a bunch of hedge animals that if you weren't watching them, they'd fucking creep up on you and try to kill you.
Yeah.
And in the book, Mr. Halloran lives. He makes it up there. He actually rescues.
Spoiler alert: he lives in the book.
Yeah, in the movie he dies. And he lives in the TV series.
But to me, like I said, it's much scarier that he died in the movie.
Yeah. Well, somebody had to die. It was a horror movie.
Well, and plus, especially if you had read the book and then went to see the movie, you're like, what the fuck? Like, you were expecting him to make it. Mm-hmm. He doesn't make it. Not in the movie. In the book, he did.
Yeah.
Well, and in the movie, I think, like, again, that made it scarier. That was a good decision.
Yeah.
Because so much was made of Halloran, like, you know, him having The Shining, him, you know, having this link with Danny, and then him, like, going this long journey to get up there to, like, save them, and then he gets killed, like, immediately.
Yeah.
That is, like, terrifying.
Yeah.
Way scarier.
But all the ghosts are explained. The dude in the dog outfit, the other guy with his fucking...
See, it's like, that's not...
in the book.
Like I said...
The woman in the bathtubs in the book.
Don't explain it.
Yeah,
no, it's much scary if you
yeah,
don't. That's why The Shining is so scary, this Kubrick movie, because he doesn't explain it.
The dude with the blood's in Great Party, isn't it? He's in the book, and he's in the TV series too. That was all there.
Yeah.
Kubrick didn't change that much. He
didn't. He just removed all of the exposition.
Right, yeah.
He removed all the... Which, in a book, like I said, that works, because you need that.
Right.
But... Kubrick decided that he was going to make it, like you said, from the point of view of someone who was just coming into this and not knowing any of the history.
Victor's saying his favorite book was The Stand. He read it, but I love The Stand too.
The Stand is great.
And so, a fan of the show sent me The Stand TV series that had been put into Blu-ray form. It's good. It's good too. The television series was okay also, but the book was really good, man. The Stand. I like this. My favorite work of King would be The Stand. I liked a lot of his old books. I also like The Talisman with him and Peter Straub fucking working together.
Peter Straub is a great writer.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have a lot of his work adapted. Sadly.
And the first couple books of the Gunslinger Dark Tower series I really liked. Thinner I thought was great. All of his early shit was good, man. Fucking Christine was great.
The movie of that is great too. Yeah. Thank you very much, Cameron, for the super chat. The Shining's definitely my top 5 horror movies. I mean, it's a masterpiece. I never get tired of it, like I said.
Yeah.
Haven't watched it in a while. It's a bit scary. It is very scary. I think. Like, I've seen it a bunch of times, so I'm like desensitized. But
sometimes we'll just go, let's put The Shining on. We're like, yeah, we can sit there and just watch The Shining.
Like I said, you could ask me right now, hey, you want to watch The Shining? Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to watch The Shining.
Yeah.
I've watched The Shining, and I've watched that documentary, Room 237, about all the conspiracy theories about The Shining, which is also super entertaining.
I also liked 2001. A lot of people don't like it. It's kind of slow, but I liked it.
That is also a masterpiece.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I liked 2010 also, which was the sequel.
That was actually pretty good. I didn't like it as much as
Kubrick didn't do.
No, he didn't.
It's still good though.
I mean, it's based on the next book, but yeah.
It explains everything that 2001 didn't explain. But, you know, what's funny is that when you listen to scientists now, I mean, 2001 would have been pretty obvious. I could watch 2000. Like, knowing what I know now, had I been back in the past, I would have known exactly what 2001 was about. Just that it was so far ahead of its time. You know, transhumanism. That was not a real commonly known concept back when 2001 came out. And that's what it is. Aliens that have gotten so advanced that they've become non-biological. That they're now living machines, basically. And they're not even machines anymore. They're just a cloud of fucking quantum particles or something, you know. And then you have the monolith that is like the ultimate expression of technology, and they're godlike. They're so advanced that they're basically gods now, and they're immortal, vast and fucking cosmic intelligences, and all they do is just go around and fucking seed planets, and fucking choose species on planets to become intelligent, so they can one day create technology that can become sentient like them. That biological intelligence is just one step in evolution to create non-biological intelligence. That they actually run the show. Which that, of course, if you look at it from a scientific viewpoint, that's the way you'd want to go. If you want to travel through space and become immortal, you're going to have to get rid of biology. Because if you're non-biological, time no longer matters. You're immortal, so you can travel the vast distance through the stars. You don't have to worry about dying of old age or getting sick, and that's probably the way to go. Dune is the exact opposite. Dune is like when that story starts off, they're like, no, there was a Butlerian jihad that stopped artificial intelligence and stopped transhumanism. And humans decided to stay with biology, and that we're just going to perfect biology. And then they start coming up with like mental schools like the Bene Gesserit, which and the Spacing Guild. They can fold space and do all kinds of stuff, and the Mentats that could basically replace the computers. So there's 2 different stories for you can check out. Dune on one hand, which is pro-biology, and 2001: A Space Odyssey, which is pro-transhumanism, where life eventually becomes technology, technological, non-biological.
CB asked if we had seen Freaks from the 1930s. Yeah. Yes, I've seen it multiple times.
Yeah.
Todd Browning's Freaks, very controversial at the time for using actual quote-unquote circus freaks. We did a review of it not too long ago. We kind of went... This is probably, I don't know, 6 months, a year ago, something like that. We went off on a whole, like, 30s movie tangent. Like, doing a lot of Universal movies and stuff like that. And we might have done Freaks around that time period. Or we might have done it before that. But I always really liked Freaks. It's a great fucking film. I love a lot of that 30s and 40s horror. 40s, not so much. Although I do love cat people. And I Walked with a Zombie. But 40s was a lot of sequels, you know? People talk about nowadays, but 40s and horror was just like all fucking the werewolf versus the mummy and this and that and the other thing. It was all that. Yeah, Vice Versa said they all go to the kid's graduation at the end. I was like, I wrote like a huge long, I don't want to call it a rant. It was kind of a rant. But I wrote this big long thing on my blog a long time ago, comparing like why Kubrick's version of The Shining was superior to the miniseries version. And one of the things, I mean, that was kind of one of the things, it's just kind of like, yes, it was closer to the book, if that's what you're concerned about. But to me, the reason, I mean, it being closer to the book was the reason that it didn't work as a movie. Because I've said this multiple times. Shit that works in a book doesn't work in a movie. Not always. If you make shit too close to the book, it's just not going to work out. And so one of the things, I don't know, I felt like the miniseries was too saccharine. It was just too maudlin. Like that whole fucking shit with the graduation at the end where, you know, the kid's graduating and then he realizes that Tony was him as a older kid, like telling him shit. And then he also sees the ghost of his dad, because his dad dies in the thing. Well, he dies in the Kubrick version too, but in a different way. And so, like, he sees the ghost of his dad, and it's just, and everything's okay now, and it's just like, oh, he saw me graduate. I'm like, oh my god, that is, like, so sappy. I just can't take it. It was just, like, not, I just couldn't take it. So much better. Like, I just kind of feel like, and I like, too, that, and sorry, spoilers for both movie and book. In the book, the Overlook blows up at the end. Like, Jack blows it up. He fights with the ghosts. Like to blow it up because of the boiler. You know.
Victor says Godzilla -1 is on
Netflix now. Yeah,
it's a great movie.
We saw that in the theater. Yeah, it's fucking great.
That aircraft, that Japanese aircraft that they showed from World War II, that's a real aircraft. It was called the Shinden, I believe it was called Shinden, and it was a damn propeller driven. The later version is going to be jet driven, but like a forward canard dual fucking fuselage plane in the back with a fucking swept-back wing. That was a real aircraft. The Japanese were making all kinds of fucking bizarre shit towards the end of the war when it ended. Jets and stuff. When you think of World War II and jets, you think of the Germans, of course. Well, the Japanese were making stuff that was even better. So were the Russians, though. That's a lot of things. People don't realize that the Russians were fucking making rocket planes that were fantastic by that time.
Yeah, fans were talking about Steven Weber. Like, I wouldn't shit on Steven Weber because I've seen him in other things and he's good. Rebecca De Mornay is also in the TV series and she's good too. But it's like there's only so much they could do with the material is what I'm saying. I didn't like that kid. I mean, he's not a patch on Danny Lloyd from the original who was phenomenal. He wasn't even in any other movies, honestly. Xanada said the TV series was terrible. No one can defend it. Bad acting too.
TV series for what?
The Shining. And the CGI ghost. It was just bad. It was just bad. Like
it
I
was
said,
closer to the book though.
Yeah, but that's why it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Because those two things, that's two completely different mediums.
Yeah.
And what works in one doesn't work in the other. The Shining, the novel, is fantastic.
If you want to know, if you don't want to read the book and want to know what the book was, you can get the TV series, and that's what the book was.
I mean, you should read the book, though.
It's pretty close, yeah.
Because the book is a lot better than the miniseries. Yeah. But the miniseries is a lot closer to the book. But like I said, it's... And I think I said this in my rant that I wrote on my blog. It's like slavishly... Because it was Stephen King writing the screenplay. So, and he was mad because Kubrick took a lot of liberties with his source material, which he did, but not that much. And it's just kind of like, so I'm going to make this just like the book. And I was just like, yeah, that's why it didn't work, really. You explain too much. Just too much of it. Like I said, leave some shit ambiguous. It's much scarier. I think the main thing that Stephen King didn't like was that the character of Jack Torrance, which, and maybe maybe this isn't true, but I always kind of felt like the character of Jack Torrance was a little bit of an author insert. Okay? He was a teacher. He was an alcoholic. So a lot of stuff that Stephen King also had experience with, which, like I said, you write what you know, so that's not crazy. So I kind of feel like that maybe there was a little bit of a thing where Stephen King was kind of like offended because Kubrick made a movie where he cast Jack Nicholson as Torrance and made him seem like a kind of a like a psycho from the beginning, which I don't entirely agree with, but I see where he's coming from. So I think that he didn't like... he wanted it to be more like, oh, I'm just like a regular guy trying to, get over the alcoholism, and do something with my life. And then the hotel makes him go crazy, as opposed to someone who's already primed before he even gets there. You know what I mean? So I get what he's saying, but I still think that movie is way, 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 like a bajillion times better than the miniseries was. Thank you very much, DVD Dragon, for the super chat. Look at all the little one and everything.
Thank you for the super chats. You're buying us drinks. You're making the fucking show worthwhile.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. What do you say?
Said, let's celebrate their first super on a live stream. Well, thank you very much. I never saw that before. Tom, thought about your statement about equipment in war watching Furiosa. Everything had to be fixable and modular, like the motorcycles at the start. That was one of the things that I always appreciated about the Mad Max universe in general. But Fury Road and Furiosa in particular.
What he's talking about is that in the beginning of Furiosa, there's some guys that are riding motorcycles. They're different motorcycles, but one of the features that team had was that the gas tanks were nothing more than 5-gallon metal jerry cans strapped to the top of the frame. So if a bike went down, you didn't have to worry about siphoning fuel out of a tank. All you did was just unplug the jerry can from the fucking fuel system of the motorcycle and unbuckle it. And you could take the entire gas can off. And you would have a standardized fuel cell to put on another motorcycle. Because fuel was too valuable to be left behind. If you had to abandon the bike, you could take the fuel at least. I think that's what he's talking about.
I mean, everything was like super well thought out, like the way that it actually would be in that situation.
Yeah.
Which I always appreciate.
Furiosa's not doing well at the box office, but that bitch is a masterpiece.
That doesn't mean anything.
It will be a cult classic. It's just as good as Fury Road.
Fury Road didn't do that great either.
It did well. It's just that it was expensive.
Right.
So it wasn't very profitable.
And Fury Road is probably the best action movie of the last 20 years.
Yeah. Those are great movies. But great movies tend to not really succeed too well at the box office.
I mean, sometimes, yeah. Like, sometimes it takes a while for audiences to catch up.
Furiosa is not doing well because the box office right now in general sucks.
Yeah,
nothing's making money.
Yeah, most movies aren't doing well.
The economy's
so it's not
bad.
Anything to do with that.
The culture's fucked up. People just don't like Hollywood. They're blaming innocent bystanders for what Hollywood is doing. Because I think Fury Road is not technically a Hollywood movie, is it? I think that's an Australian flick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Australian.
Yeah, and it's more like a fucking very high-end indie movie. But the fans are just pissed off. And they jump to the conclusion, because it has a female protagonist, that it's a chick flick. And they're pissed off, they're sick of chick flicks, because there's been a bunch of bad chick flicks. Boss babe flicks lately. They don't want to. The thing is that is definitely not a fucking boss chick flick. If that is, then fucking Alien and Alien 2 is. You know what I mean?
I told you, some people are just gonna cry.
Well, it's not crying.
Dudes are just gonna cry.
I don't think it's crying. It's just
they're
fucking. They looked at the fucking ads and go, another one of those. That's all they did. Another one of those. I don't want to see one of those. They're pigeonholing
Which is
it.
fair enough, but then don't go on YouTube and go on like a 3-hour rant about shit when you haven't even fucking seen it.
That was the thing that's pissing me off. I'm going on YouTube and these dudes are talking like they saw the movie. They didn't see the movie.
Yeah, so shut the fuck up.
Then you have other guys in there going, dude, you didn't see the movie. The movie's good.
I honestly don't think you should be allowed to have an opinion about a movie unless you've actually seen the movie.
It was a good movie.
Then you can have any opinion you want. I don't care. But don't sit there and be like, oh, well, and like rail against what you think the movie is when you haven't even fucking seen it. That's stupid.
Most of it is they're railing against a movie that they haven't seen, assuming that
they're just trying to get outrage.
Assuming
clicks.
What it is. But another thing is that when you're on YouTube reading the comment sections, you can't see these dudes. For all you know, this is a 14-year-old kid.
It probably is,
or
someone with the mentality of a 14-year-old kid. That's what they all seem like to me, honestly.
Right, and one of the fucking themes that kept going on in the comments that I'm reading is that it's not worth the money. So that means they tell me that they're broke. They don't have any money. So you're talking about a 14 to 15-year-old kid. Yeah, money's tight. But if you saw Furiosa and you liked it, you're going to see this like we did. Another thing against that movie, it's been 9 years. Hard to believe, but it's been 9 years since fucking Fury Road.
They wanted to make it earlier, but it just didn't work out for whatever reason.
Had it been 2 or 3 years after fucking Fury Road, it would have been a lot better.
Yeah, maybe so.
Because the timing. You want to strike when the iron's hot.
CB brings up the movie Kess. I loved that fucking movie. I read the book, too. I have it. The book is called A Kestrel for a Knave. And the movie is Ken Loach, and I love Ken Loach. But, yeah, if you haven't seen Kess or read A Kestrel for a Knave, please fucking see it. And honestly, please see all of Ken Loach's movies, because I love all that shit. And Mike Leigh, too. Like, I love all those British, like, realism, like, kitchen sink kind of movies. But Kess was fucking great. Super, super sad, though. Like, I feel like I haven't seen the movie in a while, but I feel like the movie wasn't quite as sad as the book, because I remember the book like fucked me up, but the movie kind of did too. But I feel like it wasn't quite as soul crushing, but it's pretty soul crushing. I know that's like a real recommendation there, but no, it's awesome. It's really good. Leslie says Nicholson has some comical things like saying smiling with that crazy face. That's not going to happen to me. Yeah, I mean honestly, I really liked the casting in The Shining. And I know that Stephen King could complain all day long about, it's like, well, Jack Nicholson seemed like a nut from the beginning, which he kind of does, because he just kind of seems like that naturally. But I don't know, to me that works better, because look, you're watching a horror movie, you know some bad shit's gonna happen, and to me, like, him being just like right on the edge from the beginning, like just from the beginning of that movie, you already have like this dread in the pit of your stomach, because you just know like some shit's gonna go down with this dude. He is not gonna make it, you know what I mean? And it's just kind of like, so that to me like amps up the tension a lot more.
Phantom says some true shit. He says, I didn't have to see Ghostbusters 2015 to know it was gonna be pure shit. That's true. Some of that shit you can look at, you go, that's not gonna work. And fucking that thing there just fucking bombed. There was no reason for that one. You could tell they were going for a gimmick flick. And who's gonna go see that movie?
I mean, I guess people did, but honestly, I love the first Ghostbusters. I think that was probably one of my, well, not probably, easily one of my favorite movies of the 80s. But so I do like that franchise. I like that whole idea. So I'm not averse to the idea of them like updating it, but
yeah, but the 2015 was like they updated with all female cast.
I don't know. It just didn't, like I said, it didn't seem necessary, or it didn't really seem interesting.
Yeah, they were like, obviously it's going to be some kind of gimmicky thing, and nobody went to go see it, and I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, yeah, it looks dumb, because it just looked like a gimmick thing, like they're trying to make a reboot and ride on the coattails of another series. And if you're gonna make Ghostbusters, make the original cast. Just don't.
Well, they are doing that now, but it's like
but
the one that's coming out, like Frozen Empire or whatever it's called. Like that has most of the original cast in it, even though obviously like Harold Ramis is dead.
Well, I think they're doing that as a response to the failures before. They're like, because they heard what people were saying. It's like, why are they doing that? Why don't they just bring the Ghostbusters? There are too many goddamn reboots. Too many reboots, too many prequels. Come up with some original shit.
Well, see, but that's the thing. If you're gonna bring
classic shit back, bring back classic shit. You know what I mean? But don't fuck around.
That's the thing, though. It's just kind of like they're kind of scared to do that because they're like, well, if we do original shit, no one's gonna see that either because it's like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So it's like they're kind of between a rock and a hard place because there's like. We make something original, nobody comes to see it. And it's like, then we make something that's like a beloved franchise and nobody comes to see that either. So it's like, we don't, nobody knows.
The industry's fucked up.
What people want to go see.
Well, the first thing is that.
And honestly, you never really know.
What's going to hit,
what's going to hit and what's not. I mean, I don't think anybody knows.
I think what I would do if I was a studio is limit the budget on everything. Don't make these fucking $400 million fucking movies. All movies should be pretty cheap if you're going to make them. You might be better off making them a series. Look how good fucking Fallout is.
That was so good. That series.
Just like
well, like I said, I kind of feel like a lot of the artistic talent has gone to streaming services and series.
Series, yeah.
Well, because the story can breathe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got like 8 episodes at least. Like if you get one season, you might get like multiple seasons, and you can like stretch the shit out. You know what I mean?
Fallout, the Fallout series, the first season was just like the game.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, and it had all the shit you're not supposed to have. It had a female protagonist. It was still cool because it was just like the game. Everything was in the fucking... Everything that these dudes are saying, oh, I ain't gonna see that shit. They still saw it. Because it was good. What matters is the quality. And the fucking... It matched the tone of that game. And it worked. And it has a lot of good characters. All right. I guess you could. It's got a female protagonist, but it has a bunch of male characters too. Each one's of their own story. So there's something for everybody. But it's all within the tone of that video game. And it's a badass game. It's kind of like Mad Max. But the 50s version of it in a weird way. 1950, a futuristic 1950s from a parallel universe. Just a good flick. And it even has touches of Western in it.
Yeah.
And fucking Walking Dead with zombies and shit.
It's kind of hilarious to me, though, that there's a certain subset of dudes, incels, who immediately when a series or a movie has a female protagonist, they don't want to watch it. I'm like, you realize that females have been watching shit with male protagonists forever. And we've dealt with it and haven't complained.
No, they'll watch a female protagonist, but she has to be realistic.
But the second you put a woman in there as a lead character, they flip their shit.
Well, I gotta defend what they're talking about.
Fucking sensitive, y'all.
No. What it is they're assuming it's going to be poorly written, because a lot of them were.
Yeah, but a lot of shit with male protagonists was poorly written also.
They just got.
So why do they make that distinction?
They got sick of seeing 90-pound girls beat up 200-pound dudes like it's easy. Like something out of Sucker Punch or something. So they're like, it doesn't happen. So that was part of it, and that's mainly what it is. But if she's well written and it's cool, they'll watch it. Just like and even that crowd that talks like that, there are guys in those same conversations. And here's the thing. This is in the comment sections on YouTube channels. You don't know how old these people are. These are probably 14-year-old boys.
Like I said, I assume they're all 14-year-old
They're probably 14-year-old boys. You don't know who this is.
Because that's what they all sound like.
Yeah. You don't know who this is. Because you have other people saying, oh, well, then that means that you don't like Alien 1 and Alien 2. Oh, no, that's good. Those are good movies.
Oh, well, that's an exception. That was a good female.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah. Or that you didn't like Terminator 2 because it had fucking Sarah Connor in it. Like, oh no, that was a good one.
Yeah.
So it just depends on the writing.
Well, that's true of anything, though. Like I said, it's dumb to like just make all these limitations on yourself. Oh, I won't see that because it has a female.
It's a knee-jerk reaction.
It is.
They're just knee-jerk reaction in the comment sections.
Dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, here's an idea.
It's marketing, though.
Here's an idea.
They see a trailer, and they see a trailer on fucking thing, and they'll immediately, on a knee-jerk reaction, reject it. So I'm not going to see that one.
But like I said, here's the thing. 1, shut up. 2, why don't you just not comment? Can you, like, not do that?
Oh, they're going to.
And why don't you just go see the movie before you shoot your stupid mouth off?
Because they're not going to spend any money. That's their mom's money. They had to.
Well, go borrow some money from your mom, come out of your basement, and go watch the movie, and then you can bitch. Okay? Right. I don't want to hear you bitch if you haven't seen the fucking movie.
I've heard dudes in the comment sections, it's too much of a risk to see that movie. And they're risking that $15.
Which is fine, but, you know,
that's how poor we're talking.
But here's the thing. There are other avenues for seeing the movie if you don't have the money to see the movie. Yeah. I'm not advocating that. Yeah. I'm just saying it's out there.
Right.
So it's like, if you want to see it, you can see it. It's not hard. Figure it out. You know what I mean? You don't got to pay. Let's go see it in the theater.
The one that pissed me off was Furiosa, though. There was no reason why that movie should not be doing well.
Yeah, that was a good fucking movie. That was a great fucking movie.
It just came out late. Had it come out fucking 3 years after.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like I said, and this happened a lot. And this happened a lot back in the fucking 80s. I mean, look at the example I always bring up. Look at The Thing, right?
Yeah.
From 1982.
Yeah, The Thing bombed.
It bombed at the theater.
And that was ridiculous that it bombed.
Which is, stupid, because it's like one of the best horror movies of all time.
Yeah.
So, but just people weren't ready for it. That's all. It was just context. It was just the environment. It was whatever the zeitgeist was at the time. People just weren't into it. And that just happens sometimes, you know? But at least people appreciated it later. So I kind of feel like that might be what happens with some of the movies that came out now that people are like, I don't want to see that, or didn't make any money or whatever. It just might get an audience like later on.
Furiosa comes out on fucking pay-per-view. It'll do better, and that'll eventually be that one will eventually be a cult classic. You know, they were mad. Well, why isn't Mad Max in it? He's in it for a few seconds, but that's not the story they're telling.
Yeah, it's like an offshoot.
Yeah, it's an offshoot of that
story, like in the same universe.
And they were. He was planning on making a Mad Max movie, but the funding wasn't there. Like, this one was supposed to come out like a couple years after Fury Road, and then there was going to be a new Mad Max movie.
Yeah, which there might still be.
There might still be, but this one's looking. I don't know. Probably not.
George Miller is pretty old.
Oh well, George Miller said that
unfortunately
he put it in the hands of younger guys that could keep this going for a long time. Whatever that means. Maybe somebody else will have rights to it when he dies.
I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. I guess because I'm a woman, so it always like seems really weird to me that like people are kind of like, well, half of the population, we don't want to see them being like leads in fucking shit. They don't want to see it. And I was just kind of like,
it's not half the population.
Well, I mean, more than half actually. Women are more than half.
No.
But
I'm saying the dudes that are saying that are not half the
population. No. But I'm saying that, you know, women being more than half of the population, 52% or whatever it is, it's like we don't want to see movies with more than half of the population like being the lead, which is dumb to me because like they're
It's not true though.
Humans
It's not true. That's just a few people saying that shit. That Mia Goth movie I saw, that horror movie we saw that was fucking awesome. That's a female lead, and it was an awesome fucking flick. Yeah, that was some weird shit.
Yeah, I'm putting a review of that up on Pearl, by the way.
It's not true.
I'm putting that up on.
It's just these are just dudes spouting off.
These are just dudes that can't get laid.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Well, I'm not gonna say. They're probably 14, 15, 16 years old.
Who can't get laid.
Yeah.
And are bitter about it.
Yeah, they're probably not even pursuing it anymore.
And are bitter about it.
Maybe.
Well, maybe girls don't want to sleep with them because they're lame assholes.
Well, I think a lot of them were pissed off.
Did they ever consider that?
I think a lot of them were pissed off that they wanted a Mad Max in it.
Make your own fucking Mad Max movie then.
I saw fucking a Mad Max fan-made film that looked fucking great.
That's what I mean.
It looked just like Fury Road.
Right.
I mean, it was shot like Fury Road. The acting wasn't quite as good, but the quality looked pretty damn good. And it was 45 minutes long on YouTube for free.
That's another thing too. Is like I kind of feel like the people that
vehicles look good and everything.
The people that piss and moan the loudest are people that can't create anything themselves.
Yeah.
And they get a little bitter and pissy about it, I guess. So they have to like shit on everyone else's creations. So you know what I mean. It's that too.
Yeah, Phantom said Night of the Comet. Fucking, that was female leads. That was a good flick.
And Slumber Party Massacre trilogy is great with all females and created by a feminist. Slumber Party Massacre is a great trilogy. Yeah. I should probably review all of those.
Phantom saying action movies, that tends to be dudes wanting to watch that. So about it. Yeah, so maybe. But the thing is Fury...
I don't know. I like action movies. It's not my favorite genre. Horror is my favorite genre, but I like action movies too.
He's saying these dudes that are talking about Mad Max are probably general action flick stars, and they tend to want to see male stuff. Here's the thing. If I were to make a Mad Max movie after this one, it would have Mel Gibson in it. As an old Mad Max. He'd be a warlord. I could come up with all kinds of fucking
They have been throwing that idea around.
That's the way I would do it.
You're not the only person.
Yeah. He would be a dude kind of like a Morton Joe. Something like that, but his own way.
Yeah, that would be... If they did that right, that would be like a really good story, I think.
Because he's too old to just be some dude in a car driving around.
Yeah.
He'd have to be a warlord.
Oh, my gout.
Yeah.
Coming out on his walker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that would probably pull a pretty big audience, I would think.
Hugo points out The Descent, all-female cast, great flick.
Yeah,
I agree.
Great flick.
The Descent is an awesome movie.
Yeah.
One of the best horror movies of that era.
There's not an ounce of soy in that bitch. That fucking movie was hard as nails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, those bitches were fucking...
All this internet fucking commentary underneath these videos, you don't know who these dudes are. And I guarantee you a lot of these dudes are fucking 15.
Like I said, I have a picture of them in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm sure they don't all look like that, but I'm pretty sure I'm not that far off.
And there are some movies that that have a female. It would only make sense if it was a female. Like if you to tell a fucking story about some hooker or something like that, she's gonna be a female. It might be a good movie. It all depends on the movie.
Like I will pretty much. There's some genres I'm not that into. But if a lot of people tell me, hey, you should see this movie, it's really good, I don't give a shit what genre it is. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I'm very open-minded like that. Like I said, I'm not super into like westerns or chick flicks or anything like that. But if somebody says, hey, man, this one is like really, really good, you should see it, I'll watch it.
Here's the thing.
I don't have a thing about it.
I like chick flicks. There's some of them I like. That one that had fucking Wilson Phillips in it. What was that fucking...
Rebel Wilson.
Rebel Wilson, that's her name.
That one that was like a... There was like a parody of it.
Parody of
that was actually really funny.
Awesome. We saw it in the theater.
That was actually really funny.
I was laughing through the whole fucking thing. What was the name of that movie?
Shit, I'll remember in a minute.
I was laughing through that whole fucking
That was hilarious, actually.
Yeah.
And I don't like rom-coms.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a girl and I do not like rom-coms at
all. Everything that was stereotypical about a rom-com, they were fucking hyping it up.
They were making fun of it.
I loved it.
But in a loving way.
Yeah,
they weren't like shitting on it, but it was just kind of it was a loving homage, but they were also kind of parodying it.
Yeah. Fat Girl Finds Love story. That's what it was.
And everything, like, I loved how she woke up and, like, everything was just, like, a Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
Like, everything was, like, super perfect and clean and everything. Yeah. She's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Yeah, it was, like, super funny.
What was the name of that thing?
I'll remember it in a minute.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
But, yeah. I mean, I have seen some chick flicks I like, but generally it's not a genre I don't like romance novels. I don't like... And even when I read horror novels, like, if you guys saw the book review I put up, I think it was yesterday, and it was like a gothic horror thing, and I was like, man, there's like a romance thing in there that I really could have done without. But
yeah, Friday the 13th had female leads in it. True. The first 3, didn't it?
They did, yeah.
Yeah. So what the fuck are these dudes talking about?
That's what I mean. That's why I don't understand why they're always crying. Like, why are they always crying?
They're full of shit.
Does it get them clicks or what? It's like, shut up. Stop crying.
Yeah.
No one wants to hear you whining all the time. I don't get it. But yeah. And especially, and again, that's another tick in the box of like why horror is the best genre, objectively.
A lot of female leads.
Is because it has a lot of female leads and no one cries about it.
No.
Everyone just accepts
Halloween.
it. Like it's fucking normal.
Yeah, Halloween.
Because it is. We're not a different species, y'all. We're just people.
And the girls survive. Some of them do. Yeah, it's a good flick.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. That's kind of why I kind of feel like slasher movies are really good, because they almost always have like a female lead.
Yeah.
And she usually survives till the end.
Yeah.
I need another drink probably.
Okay.
Need another drink.
How long you want to work? I'm getting hungry.
A little while longer.
Okay.
A little while longer. I'm having a good time. We're talking about horror movies. It's my favorite topic. My favorite topic. Oh, have any of y'all seen... Here's another movie. I was watching some reviews of Pearl, prior to me doing because I'm going to do a review of it. And some people had talked about a movie called... Is it Resurrection or Resurrected? It's from 2022. Rebecca Hall is in it. And a lot of people brought that up because they were saying that Rebecca Hall gave a really good performance, like a monologue type thing like Mia Goth gave in Pearl. So I have not seen it. It's on Hulu, though, I see. So if anyone has seen it, please tell me if it's good, because that might be the next one I review, because that sounds kind of intriguing. And I love Rebecca Hall. She's great. She was good in, what was that one? What was that movie what was it called? The Night House? Where there was like that other house that was like a mirror image of hers. Like her husband had died and stuff. That was great. She was also in that movie, The Awakening, which I reviewed a long time ago. But I liked that a lot, but I didn't love that they went with the trope of skeptic learns to accept ghosts are real. I mean, I kind of know why they did that, because you can't really have a horror movie if you can't have ghosts and stuff, but I didn't love that they utilized that trope because it's so tired. But I liked that movie otherwise. When did that movie come out? 2015, 2016, something like that. CB said, girls think with their brains and boys think with their dicks. That's probably true.
Oh, stop it.
Largely. I would be interested to know the breakdown of viewers of action movies, though, nowadays.
I think it's mostly dudes. Like Phantom said.
Maybe back in the day. I don't know.
Look, a lot of shit fucking sucked at the box office recently. Beekeeper bombed. They said it's awesome.
I just saw that it was... You can rent it for like a couple of bucks now.
I have to see it, yeah.
I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
I think it was $3.99.
They said it was a good action movie with fucking Jason Statham, being Jason Statham as Jason Statham, starring Jason Statham. It's by Jason Statham.
Stathaming the fuck out.
Stathaming the fuck out in that thing, and
as
fucking
he does.
Did his shit, and they say it's good. But nobody saw it.
I remember seeing the trailers for it and thinking, that looks pretty fun.
Actually, I saw the trailers and I was like, eh.
I didn't think that I would pay to see it. Yeah. But I said, well, if that was free on Hulu or something, I might watch it one night.
Yeah.
I don't normally seek out action movies because they're samey.
A new Venom's coming out with my boy in it.
Yeah, Tammy said that.
Yeah. It's Venom 3.
Yeah, she said there's going to be a Venom 3.
Yeah. And it looks good.
I'm very much intrigued to see
watched the trailer. I love Venom. I got that same problem.
He does.
Damn voices.
He does.
Yeah. It's
We've discussed this before.
It fucking hates me. But
I told you it was like if you have never met Tom in person, the way that you can please either watch Venom, or watch the scene in The Shining, where Jack Nicholson walks down the hall and goes, ha, 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 like down the walls of the gold room. That's what he's like.
Yeah, I'm constantly under attack by my alter egos.
And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not joking or anything. That's exactly what it's like.
Yeah, exactly. Man. Fucking crazy. But Venom 3 looked fucking good. And
I haven't seen the trailer for it yet.
Look, okay. I was gonna fucking bring you the proof, man. Photographic fucking proof. The other day, this is a story I was going to tell on the show. I'm going to tell it on the show right now. This shit is sexual as shit. All my gay fans are going to love this shit.
Uh-oh. Do I know the story?
You know the story? You fucking saw the shit happen.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know.
I ran out of underwear.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah. It's all in the laundry. So I'm doing the fucking laundry. Instead of underwear, I had my fucking jockstrap on.
That was the only clean pair of underwear.
Yeah, my black red.
Because he hadn't done laundry in a long time.
I had that shit on, right? And Jen's laughing at me.
I was like, where are those then? Why are you being all shy about it?
It was a jockstrap I bought for work. when we were doing camming and shit. So I had that shit on. And I was in the bed. I don't think I was doing laundry at the time though, did I?
Well, you had put the laundry in the
laundry away
thing downstairs. And
yeah. And then I started talking about Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy's back arch game.
Because I told her, I said to you, because you're like, these are the only ones I have clean. I was like, well, then put them on, bitch. Yeah, I was like, you can twerk for me later.
Yeah, and I was putting that shit on.
And then, like, when you put them on, I was like, okay, now you have to lay on the bed and do, like, a Tom Hardy back arch.
Yeah, so I get up on the bed and I fucking I'm practicing my Tom Hardy back arch game. And she's trying to, like, did I get it right? Because you said
it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
I mean, his was like, I don't even know how he did that, honestly. I can't do that. Again.
Zach's not in the
Yeah, he's not here today.
He's not here today.
I can't do that, and I'm a girl. So it's just kind of like, I wouldn't expect a dude to be able to do it. So you did better than I did, though, I think. Well, I don't know. I can't see my own ass, so I don't know. But I'm just saying, I think yours looked better than mine did.
We'll have to practice the back arch.
But it wasn't, yeah. Because when he was doing it, I was like, it's harder than it looks, right? And he's like, yeah, it is.
It's hard to do that.
Like, doing it, yeah, it is harder to do.
Yeah. So I was like, Jen, man, I got done doing it. It's kind of like wore me out.
I told you, it's hard.
To do the back arch game.
It's hard.
There might be new listeners that have no idea what the fuck I'm talking
about. That's all right.
So I jump up and I was like, shit, you should have taken a picture. Or taken some video.
I wasn't thinking about it. I was so entranced.
Yeah, she was entranced.
By your little... Because I was like, your butt looks like two little, like, loaves of bread.
Little muffins.
You've always had the cutest butt, Tom.
Little muffins. That's fucking funny.
Not muffins, but like, you know how... Loaves. Like like a bakery and they pull the thing out and it's like all the little loaves of bread that are all... Your butt looks like two perfect little loaves of bread.
Fucking funny.
It does.
Yeah, and I had that jock strap on with them two fucking straps that go over.
And it's red and black.
Red and black with stripes and shit. Yeah.
I thought it was funny that you were like reluctant to put that on. You're like, this is all I have clean. Like all my underwear is dirty. Like because you had
to shower. Yeah, I was like, shit, I'm out of underwear. So I put my stripping jock strap on.
And I was like, that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd be upset about that.
That shit was funny. So one of these days, I'm gonna get some photograph or some video of some back arch game, and we'll play it on the show. If I'm in a good mood,
we'll see.
We'll see if I'm in a good mood. If Jen could shoot it right.
Yeah,
there's a lot of it has to do with how the angles, the shots.
I mean, like to get a picture in because our bedroom is like very, very dark.
Yeah,
we have like all
like
the
a nightclub.
We have like all the party lights, like all the colored lights, and we have like
swirling
galaxy kind of thing on the ceiling and stuff. But it's kind of dark in there, so it's kind of hard to take a picture.
Bollywood fucking nightclub and shit.
It does kind of.
Yeah, it looks like
DVD Dragon says. DVD Dragon says, Venom 3, the symbiote takes over that back arch position.
Wait a minute. Venom 3 takes over the back arch. Yeah.
I would, okay, now I really want to see it.
Yeah.
Now I really want to see it. Well, the thing about it, when Zach showed us that picture, I'm like looking at that going, how is that bitch doing that? Because I can't do that.
I'm going to have him send me that picture again. Well, maybe we'll replicate that photo, see if I can beat him. He's only a couple years younger than me.
Because he was real young in that photo, though. Because he said he got that from his MySpace, which I don't even think MySpace is around anymore.
Right.
But wasn't he, from what I remember, he's laying on the bed.
Shape,
he is, yeah.
His age wouldn't affect him.
But he was like touching the mirror, right?
He's touching the mirror like he's was trying to get a job is what he's doing. He's trying to get a job.
Hey.
Using his ass to get a job. To get recruited in a film job.
Sure.
Right?
That's what you gotta do.
He's laid out.
He gets it.
Yeah.
It worked, didn't it?
I don't think he even had underwear on, did he?
No.
You can't really see because it's in shadow.
You can't see anything. You can just kind of see his ass and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the back arch. I was just kind of like, wait, is that Photoshop?
He's laying in the bed. He's got a mirror next to the bed. He's touching the bed, and then somebody's taking a photograph of it in the right angle and everything. And his fucking back arch is fucking amazing. And fucking Zach sent that to me.
Yeah.
On the show.
Yeah.
He's like, we were talking about.
I was
Tom
impressed,
Hardy.
honestly, because
We
I
were
was
talking
like,
about Tom Hardy because I got an old photo of him back on his old
from MySpace. From his old MySpace page.
Yeah, and he goes, check your.
When was MySpace?
Yeah,
that was like early 2000s.
Yeah, he's like, check your messenger, and I fucking go look at my messenger. I showed it on the show. Fucking yeah.
I was, like I said, honestly, I was
He's
impressed.
a multi-talented
like,
actor, man.
I mean, he's very limber. I'm gonna say that. I'm pretty limber too, but I can't do that shit. I can't do that.
No, I like Tom. Tom Hardy's he's a good actor.
He's a great fucking actor.
He's fucking very versatile. Fucking great British actor. Fucking very successful in the United States. He can do fucking good accents. He can fucking do British characters, American characters, anything. And
I was gonna tell you.
He did a great Bane.
Since you brought that up.
Yeah.
That, you know, Mia Goth from Pearl?
Yeah.
She is also British.
Is she? Okay, yeah.
Bet you didn't know that, did you?
Yeah, I could tell her accent was kind of like some kind of generic Southern accent. I couldn't quite place where
it was supposed to be Texas, like where that
Texas.
was at. Yeah.
But now he's got Tom Hardy's got another new movie coming out with the motorcycles.
I really want to see that.
We'll see.
The Bike Riders.
The Bike Riders, yeah. Well, that's not what it's called, is it?
Yeah.
It's called The Bike Riders?
Yep.
Okay.
Honestly, I've seen the trailer a couple times, and I think it looks really good. Like, it's based on a true story.
It's a gangster movie.
Yeah, it's like a gangster, but like set in the 60s.
Motorcycles, yeah.
Yeah, so like a
Motorcycle
retro
gangs.
motorcycle gang movie. I'm all about that.
The only thing that's fucking a little bit odd about that is that in the 60s when Hell's Angels and some of those early motorcycle gangs started, they were young dudes. They were a lot younger than Tom Hardy is now.
Yeah,
they were dudes
but
in their 20s when they were.
He was kind of like, at least from what I got from the trailer, he seemed like he was like the grizzled old dude that was in it, because it seems like the main guy is maybe the dude that from Elvis.
Okay.
Like the younger guy.
Yeah.
Like he might be the main
It's gonna be
character.
pretty good.
It looked good.
What was the name of the gang? It's not the Mongols. It's the fucking.
Oh, we said it before.
Yeah, we said it before. I forgot what motorcycle gang it was.
Shit. Someone will remind us, I'm sure.
It'll probably be pretty good.
Victor says,
He
I'd
was
rather...
great in Legend.
I mean, he's great in everything. He's great in everything.
He's my favorite actor right now. Actually, Tom Hardy.
He has a great range.
Yeah. Man, he was great in Bronson. That movie fucking weird. I love that movie.
We just watched that again like last week or something.
That movie's even more disturbing the second time. Yeah,
like you said, it would make a great double feature with A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, it's like some out of Clockwork Orange. Yeah, the craziest fucking.
Which, if any of
convict
you
all
youngsters have
times.
not seen A Clockwork Orange,
Yeah.
please see A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, see Clockwork Orange and then see Bronson after that. You'll understand it.
Read
if
the
you
book
see it.
too, although you might need the glossary at the back.
Yeah.
Because it's not in English necessarily. It's in Nadsat, which is a made-up slang, which is kind of English, British slang, and Russian all mixed up together.
Oh yeah, DVD Dragon. Talking about Tom Hardy gaining all that weight to become Bane.
For Bane, yeah.
No talk of PEDs. Now he was on all kinds of performance-enhancing drugs to gain that.
For some reason, they still don't talk about it, even though I kind of feel like everybody's probably on it.
It's kind of a faux pas in the business. All those dudes are on shit.
It's just kind of
Daniel
like you
Craig
can't.
was on shit.
It's even like you can't talk about having plastic surgery, even though you've obviously had plastic surgery.
Right, yeah, it's obvious you got plastic surgery. But they're, Daniel Craig to do James Bond, he's on stuff. Test. By testosterone.
I mean, you gotta be
Right.
to be doing that shit.
At their age?
At
Hell
their
yeah.
age.
At their age?
They're like our age.
Yeah.
We're old.
Yeah. To get a six-pack and to make that kind of transformation from kind of a normal middle-aged build to something that looks like a superhero, oh, no, you're going to be on shit. You're going to be running a testosterone base, a bunch of fucking nandrolone, and you'll transform. Now, he said he only trained 3 or 4 months for that role. Yeah, but he had a base. He had a base to work on because he had come off of other movies where he had gained some weight. When you see where Tom Hardy started, he was what I would call a little cutie boy when he started. A little bitty kind of twig.
Or in gay parlance, a twink.
A twink. He was a twink. He started off as a twink. But
He
he
did
got
have
fucking
decidedly
big.
twink
Yeah.
sensibilities, sure.
Nothing against a twink,
No, we love twinks.
That's his.
I love twinks.
That was his build style. thin. He got fucking big over time, but that was testosterone and nandrolone probably. And there's a couple different forms of nandrolone. MPP, decadurabolin, or durabolin and decadurabolin, it's the same thing. That's the most common ones. And then he's taking HCG, keep his nuts working, keep him fertile. Because you go on test, it's just like a woman going on estrogen-based birth control. It'll make you infertile temporarily.
Not that it matters in your case.
It doesn't matter in my case, but I keep my shit running.
Unless you want to go impregnate one of your younger girlfriends somewhere.
Yeah, they're not interested right now. No, I like to keep my fertility because I don't like to shoot blanks.
I get it.
Yeah. I like something coming out.
I mean, my ass isn't going to get pregnant.
Yeah, no.
Well, I don't think.
No.
Hopefully not.
And if you're shooting blanks for too long, man, your fucking nuts will get real small. They can eventually, if you're on a lot of shit for too long, they can disappear. So you got to have an antidote for that. You can either take HCG or you can take Clomid.
You still have normal size nuts.
Yeah, because I've been on all that shit.
Yeah.
No, some of the pros, they don't even have really fucking balls. They just got a sack. There's nothing in there.
That would be weird. You never went like that.
No, you got to. It's because I always was on either Clomid or HCG. I never let it shut down all the way. I let it kind of shut down partially for a while, but I didn't really like that feeling. So you know what I mean. I just started like taking half doses of Clomid for a while. I like full doses. I actually like HCG. Which is a pituitary gland stimulant. Guys, look, stop all this fucking fantasy shit, all right? Once you're beyond 35, your system's slowing down. You're not making endogenous production of hormones. It's not like it was, and you should know that. Doesn't matter how much you go into the gym and work out, the body's just not going to respond because you're not making testosterone, which is the body's natural performance-enhancing drug. So just inject it, and it'll come back. Just inject some. You don't have to make it. Just inject it. Now, injecting it will be like going on birth control. It's the same thing when a woman goes on birth control. So to counteract that, you take Clomid or HCG to keep yourself 1,000 IU a week, usually. And that'll keep you fertile. So you'll have basically kind of like a synthetic endocrine system. And if you just keep bumping it up, man, you'll be fucking many times better than a teenager. Many times that. That's how these dudes look this way at fucking... I'm 55. You put me next to a fucking average 55-year-old that's not on gear, there's no comparison. None. You put me next to a teenager, and a lot of times, an average teenager, there's no comparison. I'd fucking run through that dude. You know? The only dudes that I'd ever have a problem with are fucking trained fighters. Or really big dudes from the construction business. I've seen guys at the fucking gas station coming out of their construction, fucking, you know what I mean? They're construction contractors, and it's looking at the dude, and he's like 6'2", and he's just fucking stacked and shit. And I know he's natural, you know, he's in his late 20s. But that's just hard work and genetics right there. Now, can he keep that forever at 55? No, at 55, he's not going to look like that. Not unless he's doing what I'm doing. And some people are going like, well, shit, man, that's got to be bad for you. No. If your teeth fall out, you put in false teeth. Is false teeth bad for you? If you can't walk, you get a cane. What is that? Is a cane bad for you? There's kind of like this Christian thinking in a way that if something is good, that there has to be some kind of an evil side effect for it. Not really. No. You actually live longer.
That mindset is the cause of a lot of heartache in the world.
Yeah.
I will just say that.
Well, if I do something that's good for me, then something bad will happen.
Pleasure? Oh no.
Yeah, then God will punish me.
Something good? Oh no.
Yeah.
That means there must be like some horrible
Side
downside
effect
to
or
it.
downside.
Not necessarily.
No.
Not necessarily.
Yeah. If you know what you're doing. Now, if you're a teenage boy in high school and somebody gives you a bottle of fucking nandrolone and you inject that, yeah, you're going to fuck yourself up. You have no idea what you're doing. Yeah. You can't just inject random shit and then come off of it.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't suggest that. Don't do that.
But that's the way...
Especially if you're young.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you don't know. And when you're young, you don't need that shit anyways.
Well, it depends on what they're trying to do.
Depending.
But a lot of the propaganda about performance enhancing stuff comes from high school back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, people are still working on knowledge they gained back 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
That hasn't been updated.
Yeah. And back then, you know what I mean, some dude would get his hands on some kind of fucking nandrolone and inject that into himself, and he'd make great gains for about a month, and then it would all disappear and he'd get fat. Well, of course, you shut down your endogenous testosterone production. That's not what you do. Once you go on that shit, you stay on that shit. You shouldn't be doing that as a teenager anyway, because your endocrine system should be pretty strong. But if you're older, man, there's no reason why not to do it. Unless you're so old and so frail that you start jacking yourself up and you run yourself hard and you get a heart attack. That could happen. But I was already in good shape, so I could do it.
Victor says, my 45-year-old cougar friend was dating a 32-year-old guy, and she got pregnant. She didn't think she could get pregnant. She already has a 22 or 23-year-old daughter. Wow. I also got pregnant in my 40s.
Yeah.
By
me?
Yeah, well, obviously.
Yeah, we keep it, though.
When I thought that I would not be able to.
Yeah.
Even though I hadn't been, I've been through menopause now, so it's just kind of...
It's risky.
Yeah.
It's risky. She
I was honestly shocked that happened.
Yeah.
And when I went to get it taken care of, I was just kind of like, man, I thought I was like too old, and like, hey, if you haven't been through menopause, you're not too old. We've seen older women than you in here, they say.
Yeah. Well, you see, here's that HCG that I take. If I were to give that to her, she'd become fertile again. I could get her pregnant. No, I don't know.
Let's not. That doesn't sound like a good time.
Yeah.
For me.
It's just whether or not the quality...
It was not a good time the first time.
The quality of the eggs, though, has suffered, so you're taking a risk.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be okay, but it could be fucked up too.
Yeah.
Because you end up running the risk of Down syndrome and things like that.
Which
there's tests for that, so you could abort it and try again and have one that doesn't have.
Well, I don't think I've ever said this on the show, but that's what they told me.
Well, you told me that
before.
That they thought it probably had Down syndrome anyway.
They said,
yeah.
It looked like it had that.
Oh, then they might have just told you that.
I mean, to make you feel better, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
But it is very common.
Yeah.
Because I was, 42
maybe?
No, I was probably older than that.
Yeah. Okay.
How long ago was that?
I don't know, a long time ago.
I was like early to mid 40s.
Yeah.
I was early to mid 40s.
Yeah, Jen's like 51 now, aren't you?
Yeah. 51? I'll be 52 in September.
Yeah. And I'll be 56 in a couple months.
Yeah. So yeah, that was something.
Yeah.
That was the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah.
And I was married for a long time.
Yeah.
And I never got pregnant when I was married. I was on birth control the whole time, but you know what I mean? Because I didn't want kids. But
makes you wonder what that did to your eggs. Because you're not really getting rid of a bunch of eggs. Maybe your eggs stay in there longer.
I don't know.
Because you're born with a certain amount of them.
Yeah, and then
they kind of grow from there. Well, if you shut down the cycle, then that means there's probably still a lot in there. They're old though. But you know what I mean?
My old ass eggs.
Yeah, well, they've been in there for a long time.
Well, yeah.
But that doesn't mean that they would all be duds.
No, I mean, that's the thing. It's just, they don't say that, like, every single... Because older women can get pregnant and have viable children.
Yeah, they've had viable
It's just that it's
60s.
more... Yeah, it's just more common...
That there's a problem.
You know, there's more of a chance that something's going to go wrong.
But with amniocentesis and everything, you could find out early whether or not there's going to be a problem, and abort, and then retry again until you get a good quality one.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know.
If we wanted to do it, we could do it.
I mean, we talked about it at the time because I was still in my 40s at the time, and I was just kind of like, I don't know, man. I wasn't like super jazzed about it. I've never been really into having kids. Yeah. But we talked about it.
The best time to have your kids is when you're in your teens.
I'm like, man, I think we're too old.
Yeah. If you're a woman, the best time to have your kids is in your teens.
It's like, I think we're too old.
Get that shit over with. Get that shit over with. The kid's fucking grown and gone, and you're still young. And
it's
fucking,
like, holy crap.
I thought the shit was crazy until a friend of ours, who she's had a bunch of kids, one of her little kids had a kid at 18. And I was like, you let her fucking have a kid at 18 because she's a grown woman. She goes, I did it at 18. She goes, get it over with.
My mom had me at 18.
Yeah. She's like, get it over with. Now she won't have to have any more. And I thought about that for a while. And I was like, yeah, just get it over with.
And then once your kid is grown, you'll still be young enough to like have a life of your own, I guess.
Yeah. Right.
But it's just kind of like, that's what I mean. Like, we talked about it, and I was just kind of like, do we want to do this? Do we not? And it's just kind of like, man, he's like, I think we're too old. I was like, I think we're too old. Like, I was in my 40s, and you were approaching your 50s at that point, and I was just kind of like, I was never a big fan.
Part of it is the energy.
I was never a big fan of having kids anyway, so it's just kind of like, man, I'm probably like too, like, I don't have the patience for this.
Yeah, and part of it is like the mental energy.
Yeah.
Because now you've got to go into child rearing mode.
And that's like all encompassing.
My buddy's my age, and he's got like 3 of them now. They're all little kids, and he loves it because he's retired.
I mean, some people like it. Like, some people like it.
That's all he does. He raises his
like,
kid.
and I told you at the time.
He's got like 4 girls, and they're like, I think the oldest one is only like 6.
I told you at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, look, I'm ambivalent.
Yeah.
I was like, if you really want to do this, I will do it. But I don't know. We weren't super jazzed about it, and I kind of feel like
the risks were high.
That is a whole other person.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like if you're bringing a whole other person into the world, you have to be like super jazzed about it, or don't do it.
Yeah.
Or don't do it.
And we were really worried about all the risks.
I was worried about the health risks. Yeah. I was worried about, because I was older.
Yeah, and then the financial strains.
And the financial strains too, because
we had some rough spots after that fucking. All those people that have kids, they're not that expensive.
They are though. They are.
I don't know. I think some people just say fuck it and just let it ride.
Yeah, I get. Like, you figure it out, I guess. Like I said, my parents, they had me when they were 18. Then they had 3 more.
Yeah. And
they were always poor.
Yeah.
They managed, but it was hard. It was hard for them, and it's just kind of like, I don't know if I'd want to. Yeah. I had a good childhood, but I don't know if I'd want to inflict that on someone else.
Victor says about Tina McGee at 54 is pregnant.
Trina McGee. Yeah, like I said, it happens.
Yeah,
and like Tom said, if he injected me with the right hormones,
I could get her pregnant. Yeah.
Then he could probably get.
Wouldn't take long, and it's cheap. I can get it from Mexico.
I mean, like I said. If you really wanted to do that.
I take it all the time.
But honestly, just the thought of it is just like... Yeah. The thought of it is just like, has always been like Cronenbergian horror for me. What a weird... I don't know. It's so weird. Growing a whole entire human.
There's no stress. There's no reason to...
In your body. That's so weird.
Although I've said you should go on HCG periodically just to refresh your system. Because hormonally it's good for you. You should start your cycle back up for about 3 or 4 months and then shut it down. Every year you should have a cycle.
I'm not jazzed about that idea. But like I said.
Well, your body starts producing estrogens and fucking bunch of other stuff which helps keep you young.
I mean, for that, okay. But like I said, we really got to watch it because like I said, I really do not want to get fucking pregnant.
No, I just would not. Yeah, we'll
at
just
this
be careful
age.
during that time. I can get it if you want. We should start it up for about 3 or 4 months. 3 months, probably a year.
Because I got pregnant before, and I was not a fan.
I would start it I would start it up for like 3 months a year out of the year, just to get a kind of a refresh on your hormones. Or maybe 3 months on, 3 months off, 3 months on, 3 months off.
Because man, my period sucked so much.
Well, it may not be that bad anymore, though.
I mean, I would hope not, but I don't know.
But it keeps your skin looking a lot better on that.
I think I have nice skin.
Yeah, but we're talking long term. We're talking about over the next 20 years.
Yeah, I know. Stop it, Pookie.
Pookie, stop eating books.
She's eating the books.
Speaking of eating, I'm getting hungry.
Wait a minute. The Phantom says, is 1985's Better Off Dead any good? Yes. And this might be my nostalgia talking because I saw that movie a bajillion times when I was growing up. It was always on cable. I love that fucking movie with John Cusack. It's super funny. It's super charming. I don't know. I'm really into it. You might not like it, but I really, really like it. So I would recommend it. Don't at me if you don't like it, but I really, really like it. It's super. It's good. Is it at the same level as like you know, like a John Hughes movie. Not quite, but it's along the same lines. So if you like John Hughes movies from the 80s, you would probably dig it. Like, I really liked it. John Cusack is good in everything, I think. CB says people over 45 should not have kids because it's not fair on the kids. You might not be there when they're 20. Maybe. That's kind of another thing that we talked about. I was just kind of... And that was another thing that Tom said. It's like, geez, when they graduate from high school, I'm going to be, like, dead, probably. But yeah, so... Like I said, I was never a big fan of, like, having kids anyway, like, even when I was younger. And so, by the time that I got pregnant, whatever age I was in my 40s, for sure. And I was just kind of like, man...
Kind of past the fucking window.
Yeah, I was just kind of like, man, do we really want to do this? It's just, like, the way that... It's like, I don't know if we have enough money, and it's just kind of like, we're going to be super old, like, when they graduate, and it's like...
I remember my thinking at the time was just already, it was like, man, it's a lot of health risk. That's what I was thinking at the time. Like, we've kind of passed the window where you have the energy. The thing is that was before I was on HRT.
Yeah.
So I didn't quite have the energy that I had now. Because I was starting to slip into that old man mode.
Oscar says Tom wants a kid.
No. Don't
have
read into that.
You might have to have one of your young girlfriends do that.
Yeah.
I always tease him about that. You better not have any younger girlfriend.
If the shit came out of the blue and happened again, I'd consider it. But
I mean, we considered it at the time.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like it happened unexpectedly, and we were just kind of like, maybe not. Maybe I didn't know how I felt about it. He didn't know how I felt about it. We were just very ambivalent.
Yeah.
About it.
Look, I'm fucking starving. I'm gonna get something to eat.
All right.
We're gonna. I got all that damn Thai curry down there waiting.
All right, we're gonna eat some more Thai curry.
Yeah.
Like we're just.
Yeah.
Going into this very serious conversation, and like we're gonna like fucking cut into the show. And like I said, I think that's the first time we've ever brought that up on the show. Maybe. Yeah. But yeah, this is like it's years ago. How many years ago?
A long time ago.
And like I said, I'm not like super upset about it, but it is kind of a weird.
Yeah.
Man. I don't know how I'd feel if you knocked me up again, though.
Knock it off. Let's go. Get some meat.
I would get a cesarean, though. Like, knock me out and just cut my ass open and just fucking... Just take it out. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to know about it. But yeah, so thanks, everybody, for dropping by this evening. We're going to go eat some Thai curry. So, thank you for all your super chats. We'll be back on Monday. I kind of feel like we will probably do Without Warning. Because I know a lot of you have recommended that before, and it's kind of like the pre-Predator. And I've been wanting to see it for a while. It's free on YouTube. So we're probably going to watch that this weekend, and we will talk about that on Monday. I'm going to put up a review of Pearl probably on Sunday. So have a look out for that. I also put up a book review yesterday, if you didn't see that, about a gothic horror novel. So, yeah. Thanks, everybody, for dropping by this evening and hanging out with us. And thank you for your super chats. And we will see you guys again on Monday night. Good night.